So excited. We're live now.
All right.
Starting clock. Look at me, guys, learning. I'm starting the clock.
I heard words from Devin. Keep speaking.
You can hear me now?
Yes.
I can hear him now.
All right. So it logged me out and logged my wife in while we were in the Google Hangouts.
That's hilarious.
That's okay. I can boot your wife out. Out of here.
She's already gone to bed, so I mean.
Oh.
All right. Let me see that real quick.
Okay, everybody. First of all, it's on Topsky's birthday. So everyone wish him happy birthday. We will sing at the end of the episode when everybody's on. But as of right now, if chat wants to say happy birthday, go for it. This is one of two presents that one is open, one is not open. But look what he got.
Yeah, so to all you people who were like, I don't want to sign a Rebel helmet, that's just terrorists. So I have an Imperial one for you people, and I'll have a silver marker at Adepticon and Gen Con. So be there, sign it. And my wife is saying there will be cookies because Coach demands it. So you're welcome, Gordon.
There will be cookies.
And then,
oh, now the one that's not open yet.
Yeah, this hasn't been opened. This just came out of the mail. Oh man,
is this safe for OCX air?
Yeah, they're just Funko Pops. Yeah, I asked her. I'm like, is this safe for on air? What? They gave me candy.
Oh,
Starburst in there.
Oh my god.
So
ooh,
red.
The old red Stormtrooper. Is that like the brand new one from the Resistance thing?
No, it's not actually, which is surprising. It's a Target exclusive, so I'm assuming they just wanted to paint it red.
I don't remember seeing any red Stormtroopers.
And Rey with a pilot helmet.
Oh, look at there.
And I told you I don't even know wall space for these.
There's space.
There's not space anymore. We're moving into a house this year.
Moving on up to the east side.
All right.
To a deep in the sky.
All right, you can
moving on up.
You can stop presenting me.
Stopped presenting. Well, that was a pretty cool birthday present.
Chris Brown Reap exclusive repaints at certain store.
Oh, that's the real Chris Brown too, not the fake one. We love the fake one too. Don't worry, Christopher Brown. We love you too.
All right, now that's over.
So, Coach, Canada invasion of the Toronto invasion. Yes. That's from your guys' very own Mark Stewart, by the way. If anyone wants to know right now, you can all unmute yourselves and we can all have a good old-fashioned get to know each other before we get to know each other.
Before it becomes public.
So, yikes. We will tell you when you need to be muted. Don't worry about it.
Okay, I think I figured this out.
Woohoo!
Finally, a Canadian that has a Canadian accent, and his name is Aaron. So right away, he's my favorite Canadian Aaron.
So since you figured this out, can you tell us how to do it?
There's quite a few Canadian Aarons that might take offense to that.
Yeah, but they're not on the show.
That's
so right
fair,
now,
that's fair.
You're the only real Aaron, Canadian Aaron.
So I had to start it up on my computer, and once I started it up on my computer, I was able to transfer it over to my phone. So I joined it on my phone at that point.
Okay,
cool. Whatever
works best.
Yeah.
So now, Topsky, you were wrong. Apparently, there are more than 3 Aarons in X-Wing. There's Aaron Bonner, Aaron Kroll, and now Aaron Dieter. Dieter, did I say that right?
Dater, like
Dater.
date. But
date.
With an E.
See, I need that. I need the phonetic. So date.
We got another Aaron to add to your collection too. I think there's Pappenhausen as well.
Yeah, he's league boss Pappenhausen.
I feel like we should have like a Z95 alt art card collection of Aarons. How many Z95s can you run these days? Can you still run like 8?
You can run 3 of them in front of a line of 2 E-Wings. It's a lot of fun.
Uh-oh. So Dev, I saw Devin talk again, and then he there's no sound.
Oh yeah, I muted myself. That's
okay,
fun.
that time it was easy.
Yeah. I was like drinking and typing and stuff, so I muted myself and then just didn't unmute. So.
Oh, okay.
That's already doing 2 things at once.
Is that beyond his realm of capabilities?
Listen, I've been doing 5 things every day this week. That's a lot.
Oh, so since before you had the little weird thing with your wife account logging in, so you are one of the head, if not marshal judges for the System Open, right?
I am the marshal, and I'm joined with Cam Murray, former Canadian national champion Alan Fung, and our PTL local Microverso. They're joining me on the judging team.
Cool.
Well, good luck. Oh, that's exciting though. That is an aspect that we're going to dive into, I believe. Topsky hasn't released the show notes, so I'm just winging it. Surprise.
That sounds fine.
I mean, it's pretty much all about PTL, VTTV, and the System Open in Toronto. Prep heading up into it. Thoughts on predictions, bold predictions, all that fun stuff. It's
it'd be good time.
First big event after the points change.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I have to chug this crappy American beer before I get to my Canadian beer.
Now, but you got in a stubby, so I mean, hey, that's a
classic.
Good sign.
Oh, we got soliciting. Wait, we need to present Uncle Mark.
Fine.
My high graphics.
Hold it up.
Uncle Mark fan. Nope, don't tell him anything. Just let it float. They'll get it. You have enough people in your fan club anyway. You don't need any more people joining the Uncle Mark fan club where you might get a free t-shirt or maybe not. I don't know.
It'd be interesting to know who's the Uncle Mark of Canada. Like who has their own fan club in PTL?
God, Alan. But I think he quit
the hair
2.0. Yeah, the hair himself.
Why do you call him? All right, maybe we save that for the show. I was gonna ask why you call him the hair, but that's a show question.
All right, I'm cracking my first Labatt Blue.
Boom. Salut.
Go, baby. I drink the shit out of this when I go fishing in Canada every year.
What do you fish for?
Walleye. Nope. We go for the big ones. Walleye, muskie, northern.
You ever go ice fishing, bud?
No, that's dumb. You people are dumb. Fishing should involve, in this order, beer, sunshine, and maybe fish.
Hopefully fish.
I'm sorry. Beer, cigars, sunshine, fish.
Fish is optional.
Maybe you can do all of that in the winter.
You can, but damn, man, it's so fucking cold. Like, I've done it twice. And I've done it one time sitting on a bucket in the exposed. Not a fan. And the second time I did it was in like one of those like $30,000 like
Jesus.
basically
Some people like
mobile
fishing.
homes. And I'm like, we're not catching any fish. He's like, because we can't move around. But do you want to move around? I'm like, no, I got DirecTV, man. I'm good. This is almost better than real fishing. So, no, I'm not a fan. We fly into Hammerhead Lake in Manitoba or Ontario. It's right on the border. And I have the whole lake to myself. Me and the old man, a bunch of cigars, a lot of beer. I'm more of a Molson guy, personally.
Sure. Why do you like Molson's?
Because I grew up from Labatt. Like, I equate this to like Bud Light in the Americas.
Yeah,
and
that's
Molson's
fair.
like Budweiser. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
Labatt Blue was my first like beer when I turned 21 at the time, and then eventually was like, oh, this is good. Maybe I'll try Molson as well, and I just like Molson better. And then I became a craft beer snob.
yeah, you
I
did.
did enjoy Toronto then, man. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, we have nothing but craft beer.
Oh, I need to find. I messed up. I just got a new license and I didn't get an enhanced one.
What? Oh, the whole like passport /
Yeah, the one where
thing
I can
where
just
you can
drive
You can
across
just
the
drive
bridge.
across the border.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
still haven't done that yet. I did fix mine so that I have that nice gold sticky star in the top corner, so it says I can fly domestically because that's a thing now.
I'm fortunate enough that I've been going on this trip for like 25 years. So like at every single date, the U.S.-Canadian border, they're like, "Oh, hey guys." I'm like, "How's it going, Bob or Jim or
Jim Bob?"
There used to be a Randy, but he doesn't work there anymore. Either that or he got moved. I don't know. Well, I think everybody's here.
Yeah.
That we are going to have on the show. It's a jam-packed, jam-packed show. We're going to start out with Devin and Tim. We're going to go over some VTTV.
Yeah.
Victor and Travis Television.
VOTV Live.
Travis.
Coach, you are so smooth.
Is that really what it is?
Victor and Travis Television. Oh my
VTTV.
All uppercase, baby.
Television.
That's fucking fantastic.
Was that?
Oh, hey, save that. We're gonna go over that.
Was that always tabletop related, or was it just for X-Wing?
So
Well,
they do
lots of good
all
stuff.
they do all FFG games.
Okay.
So if you go to their channel, they'll do L5R, Destiny, Armada, X-Wing, Keyforge. They've got setups for each game. They've got multiple camera angles for stuff like Armada and.
So they're like
Destiny.
Team Covenant for Canada.
Yeah, except better because we actually produce content.
And
Correct.
you actually are still producing content.
Correct. And we don't have a 6-month lag on our output.
We might say all this again because we're not on the podcast part.
So, do I want to bring that? I don't want to bring it. Never mind. Never mind. I was going to bring up the whole controversy thing, but then I was going back and forth and I was like, well, that's 1.0 bullshit. We're 2.0, baby. We're looking at the future. And I think that was explained enough. So we're going to leave that one out.
Sure. I think they'd appreciate that. Certainly they just want to sort of move on. And you're just going to get me defending their behavior where they were just like.
It was a dumb, stupid thing anyway. It was really not worth talking about because it was over and done with like that. So I don't.
Agreed. Let's move on.
Americans like to dwell on stupid shit.
I'm so moved on. I'm not sure what you're talking about, and I will want to know then.
This might be pre you. I don't know. Like before you got into X-Wing.
Okay, that's fine.
To tell you the truth.
Wasn't that long ago.
Wasn't it? It was like 3 years ago, wasn't it?
Which are you talking about? Jeremy and Duncan and the
Yes. No. Wait, maybe. I don't know. Fuck. Who cares?
the harpoon missile trash?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was definitely there for not there, but yeah.
Anyway, not bringing it up because it's 2.0, baby. So, and we are a positive podcast. So, I think mostly
I'm all in.
positive. All right.
We have beef, but it's fun beef every once in a while.
But it's fun beef. Okay, so the rest of you guys, just mute yourselves. We're gonna roll on through. We're gonna talk about a bunch of stuff. We're gonna talk about Toronto lists, all kinds of stuff. We're gonna get all you guys in there. Steven, this might be weird because we're not actually gonna talk about Yasby like the whole episode. We might not even mention Yasby except for that's what you do.
I think that might make him very happy.
You guys don't have to talk about it.
I'm just gonna it's just gonna be in the introduction. We're not gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
We'll get you on some other time and talk about it.
Steven has many wonderful qualities.
Do I?
I think so.
I have qualities. I don't know about one.
I don't know if I'd label them good. I know exactly what you're talking about, Steven. All right. Let's get this show on the road. That was a 14-minute green room. Oh, I got to switch this over. 14 minutes. Start. Montana would be so proud. Good morning, X-Wing. Hey, this is not a test. This is OCX Radio. Time to rock from the Delta Pilot to the 4BZ. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the OCX Radio Podcast, broadcasting from the OCX studios in beautiful downtown Orange City, Iowa. My name is Aaron the Coach Kroll, and joining with me today is none other than the OCX Ace of Legend, Ryan Ontopsky.
I couldn't stop them. I couldn't hold them at the border. Michigan has been overrun, and they're making their way south.
Womp, womp, whoa, Canada. Oh, that was not the time we're supposed to do that, Ryan.
That's
like, I was gonna go to the. Oh, Jesus. God damn it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that indicates that none other than 487 miles to my left, it's Uncle Mark Tippett.
And it's Canada night, and you guys both stole all of my jokes, so I will not sing the Canadian national anthem. Have a nice evening.
I don't even think I did it right. I think I got the O. You know, everybody knows it's O Canada, but then after that, it's like hockey, moose, and lakes and stuff. So
don't forget hockey.
I will not forget about hockey. It's the greatest thing that ever come out of that country.
And Rush.
I think.
What can I say except you're welcome?
I fucking love hockey, man. Oh, my little daughter plays hockey, and it's awesome. Except for she's not a big fan, but that's fine because I'm a strict parent. I'm going to make her do it.
Sounds unnecessary.
It's fine. She's got a new boy that she's hot on the hockey team, so she might stick it out just for that, which that's all her mother. So, but we are, as we've alluded, it is the Canadian invasion, ladies and gentlemen. We have a rock chalk lineup of nothing but Canada's finest. We're here to talk Toronto. We're here to talk about VTTV. We're here to talk about all kinds of stuff.
And we even brought Geddy Lee in, right?
Who?
Geddy Lee.
No, he was busy tonight. Unfortunately, our fearless leader couldn't make it.
Get with the program, Mark.
You don't know who Geddy Lee is, do you?
I have no clue who that is.
Don't
Canada
worry,
revolt now.
He's a guitar god.
He's a guitar god.
Coach, you're not the only one. I don't know him by name and face.
He's the bass player and lead singer for Rush.
The man could write poetry with a bass line.
That would be the reason, because secret's out. I'm not a huge Rush fan.
I like Rush, but I don't know him by name.
Sorry. I'm not a Rush fan. Like, I get it. I understand it. But just not, it's not my cup of tea or cup of wonderful Labatt Blue as I'm drinking tonight. The only one that went out of my way to make our guests feel comfortable. Anyway, so first up, we're going to introduce a Canadian legend himself, Mr. Devin Monkhouse. Devin, hi.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing all right. I thought that was going to be longer, but you want me to go into it?
Oh, I can give him more titles.
I can expel. Or I'm learning this. I'm learning this new trick these days. Just short and sweet. Just get it out there, and because you don't want me to ramble. You really don't want me to ramble.
Pro tip: no.
Sure. So I guess I've been playing X-Wing since 2014. I helped take over the Prototype Toronto League, and I've been running it with Aaron for about 2 years now. I've been Canadian Marshal twice in a row for Nationals, and now I'm going to be Marshal for the upcoming Toronto System Open, and I'm one of the regulars you hear on VTTV Live if you watch our streams.
I want to bring in one more guest because we're going to kind of duo this thing. We also have Canada's second finest, I think. I just put you guys in order of when you came on. So, oh no, Tim. Sorry, Tim.
Hey, guys.
Timbo is Canada's finest. I'm sorry, Devin. He was on here first, so he wins the prize.
I'm not going to disagree
winning.
with the fact Tim's got a winning personality. He's he's a great icebreaker for the rest of us.
So, Timbo, tell us a little about yourself.
I've been playing since 2016. And I've had a few top 8 finishes over the years. Never taken an event myself, but I'm looking forward to the day. And I'm a member of the Prototype Toronto League as well for a few seasons. Got my name on the trophy a couple of times. And the turnout of new players since 2.0 kind of kicked off has been really a good little renaissance of X-Wing in the GTA area. Looking forward to having everybody in town, meet some new folks, and everybody up at the Monaco Casino Hotel checking in for the system open soon.
So that's interesting because before I ask you our stupid, whatever questions. I want to dive a little bit into that. So your 2.0 crowd is actually increasing.
It's been slow, but certainly after January and towards the System Open, it's been picking up. Sort of, I think a lot of guys are waiting for specific factions to jump into the game. Certainly that's what's bringing them back. So it's sort of a slow pickup. I think a lot of places around the country saw a drastic drop-off after 2.0, and certainly we've lost some players. You might be familiar with Darth Eric the Shaken, or Easy as we call him. And, you know, he's out. And as I said, our former national champion, Alan, is out. So we've lost our own fair share of players. But yeah, you know, there's always a turnover in the community, and we're seeing new blood come in, and certainly the System Open's picking. There's been a few new faces, guys practicing for it, so it's always good to see.
That's good. That's good. That's what we all like to hear. Is there's some new faces. I think everyone's dealing with some people that were just like, just 2.0, not gonna. It's weird. It's a whole nother subject for a whole nother day, and we'll try to get you guys back on for that topic, because I would love to dive in further. But that's great. Your guys' your community is still strong. It's still going. That's what we all like to hear. So
yeah, I don't think the System Open in Canada is going to be anything like Birmingham. But at the end of the day, you know, we're going to have a good turnout this weekend, and despite Mother Nature doing her best, I'm sure.
How
and subway shutdowns.
Conveniently timed subway shutdown.
That sounds like a great time.
Yeah.
How? Let me just dive. We're gonna dive right into this. We're just gonna roll the ball because we're here. How big is it that Toronto is getting a System Open?
This is huge. This is huge for us. We've been fighting for it for a couple of years. I've been on Steve. They promised us one. They promised it was going to happen last year, and they discovered that they needed visas and passports and stuff to come up, which I think was a bit of a shock to them.
No shit. I mean, Jesus. It is another country. It doesn't feel like it, but ladies and gentlemen, Canada is another country.
Did you know we can't pay people in another country legally?
What?
Right. So they weren't able to work around that last year, and so then they finally gotten around to it, or they've put it together for this year, which is just fantastic. So
they're partnering up with one of the best gaming community leads in Toronto, in my opinion. Kelly and the guys at Face to Face, who are hosting the System Open this weekend.
Who's that again? Face to Face?
Face to Face games. Yeah.
How many players are you anticipating?
So Steve told me today that he's anticipating somewhere between 130 and 150 players.
Wow.
Awesome.
Good number.
Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive.
Nous avons nos amis à la province de Québec qui vient as well.
Don't you talk that Bruno language to me.
Bruno's coming. We're going to have a good time Friday night. He has first question to me in the Canadian organizer chat was like, so when's the tailgate? Where's the tailgate? What's going on? So
he's probably super pissed that he's not on the show right now.
No, this is the English Canada part. You've already had the French Canada.
I know. And he's already had his own episode in.
That's what I was going with. He had an episode already.
Damn it, Bruno. Let other Canadians share the American airwaves.
Right? It's hard to say no to that gorgeous Quebecois man.
He is, he is Canadian nice, man. He is just, but in a weird way. Like,
I was gonna say, have you listened to when he does the Lore Master? Because he shits all over people on that one.
But I just hear love just pouring through. It's my kind of love, so that's why we get along so well. But
see, he can shit on people because here's something I like to say, because Americans are always a little confused. They're like, I thought Canadians were nice. Or sorry, I thought Canadians were polite when you can be sort of like rude or passive aggressive to them. And it's like, listen, Americans. Nice doesn't mean polite. Polite doesn't mean nice.
Nice doesn't mean stupid.
Yeah. I can be polite and not be nice at the same time. The Canadian story is mostly passive aggressive.
You know what? I like it. I think that should be on a t-shirt that you should all hand out at the Toronto System Open. Polite does not mean nice, assholes. Oh man, that's awesome.
But if Harold was here, I'd get a T-shirt going on that.
Yep. Uncle Mark fan club was all over that. I wanted to first of all, let's get our little questions out of the way so we can really get to know what are you guys as players. Devin, we'll go with you first. What was your favorite faction in 1.0, and what's your favorite faction going forward into 2.0?
In 1.0, it was definitely Empire. I was a huge fan of flying the TIE Swarm. I won a store championship in every season, including this last one with a TIE Swarm.
You don't need to bring up store championships. It's a little sore subject on the show. Don't worry about it. It's all right. It's all right.
All right.
You didn't know. You were just being polite.
Well, I have a
but you were kind of being an asshole.
All right.
I don't know what Coach is talking about. I'm fine.
Yeah, fuck off.
I do. I know.
And going forward into the new one, I haven't had any table time yet with the Separatist Alliance, and I hate the prequels like the burning passion of a true Star Wars fan. But man, I might love Energy Shell Vulture droids at the right price. So
Roger.
Yeah. They might steal my love. We'll have to see if I can stay loyal to the Empire and the First Order, or if I'm dragged over to the Separatist Alliance.
Much depends on that paint job.
I have an order for 5 of the Adepticon ones from a buddy that's going. So we'll see if I can have all the colors of the rainbow, all my gender neutral droids of the rainbow.
Devin, we should take that opportunity to wish our Canadian fellows good luck at the Adepticon Armada Championships.
I will crush them under my American boot.
I doubt it. So
yeah, no, everybody else
definitely not in Armada, which is basically a Canadian game at this point. You were joking about how we came in and we're gonna breaking through the border at Michigan, but here in Toronto, we generally refer to Michigan and upstate New York as Lower Canada. So
that's okay.
You guys are so polite. You won't give up on Armada.
So Eric Z won
the
Michigan regionals. So technically, yeah, I mean, we're pretty much Lower Canada until Michigan reclaims their own regional.
And we usually win the Rochester regional. So much so that I don't know if you've noticed or not. If you pull up the Hyperspace Trials map on Reddit, you'll see that Detroit and Rochester do not have hyperspace trials.
Clarify. Detroit is having one.
Oh.
It has not been updated. Mark your calendars. May 18th, Eternal Games in Warren, Michigan.
All right.
Ooh, you heard it.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure the Salt Squadrons held the Lundy's Lane side of the Niagara River a while as well.
Yeah. I think we've got like 7 or 8 regionals or hyperspace trials in Ontario now. So I'm just like not sure. There's 16 in Canada.
I feel like someone should draw a map up, like of the world, only, of X-Wing hyperspace and regionals, and then just like Canada claims Phoenix, or like the draw the map like all of Detroit and most of northern New York and everything. That would be kind of fun.
Yeah, what's a 6-hour drive from Toronto? We've probably won it.
I would assume right now Minneapolis is under the British flag, I'm assuming.
Sure.
With Simeon.
The EU flag until they leave, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right. They're EU right now. Oh, that's probably gonna piss him off.
All right, what's your next question?
That's it. Tim, what was your favorite faction, and what's your favorite faction going into 2.0?
My favorite faction in 1.0 was Scum. I loved playing 2 Shadowcasters. It was a good list.
I like it.
2.0, I'm really digging Empire.
I knew you were my favorite Canadian.
I have my eye on First Order.
Ooh, okay. What First Order have you been flying? Have you tried a bunch of stuff out, or are you kind of triple ups, or are you playing the field?
I've flown a list with a Upsilon in it. I mean, like, I love playing Petty Officer Thenison with Phasma, and then some FOs or an SF or something like that. That's a fun list.
Cool.
And then you can do, your silencer race with some backup, a couple of SFs or something like that. We've actually just recently uncovered an interesting interaction with Supreme Leader Snoke, because you spend the Force and you reveal the other dial. We thought for a minute that it would turn off abilities like advanced sensors, but it was clarified, unfortunately, no. Even though if somebody else flips the dial, you still have to reveal the dial in the activation phase.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be too strong. That would be awesome.
It would also be really curious to reveal the dial of a striker, because then they could aileron twice.
Or not. Yeah.
Or
not.
Yeah.
Let's say you, and you're not.
What prompted you to go from Scum to First Order? Just curious.
Well, no, I mean, like I said, I've been digging Empire. I think that's where, like, and then, you know, Empire and FOs share a lot of commonalities in terms of like list archetypes. Like I dig, you know, all sorts of stuff. I've played Empire lists with aces. I'm not a big fan of the Phantoms. I was a really big fan of them in 1.0, but I hate what they become.
Look what you've become.
Quad Sigma.
Exactly. Something flawless is happening to you. Exactly.
Well, I tried to get Robin on, and he won the PTL Open, and we can get into what the PTL Open is later. But one of his lists before it was good. I guess this is October, November was the PTL Open, and one of his lists was quad Sigmas with Juke. So he couldn't make it tonight, unfortunately.
Well, he can just run 3 of them with Juke, and one of them blank or crack shot, probably fine.
I mean, that sounds bad, and he's got better tech, but I'm definitely not talking about that before the system opened.
Actually, that's a perfect segue, because I want to get into the whole PTL and the VTTV stuff. We're going to try to plug you guys as big as possible to kind of broaden your range. Hopefully, gets you guys some new listeners or new watchers. So let's dive right into it. Who's in charge?
I'm in charge, basically.
I was going to say, I think Devin is.
I'm the big boss. So it's Aaron founded it in 2016. We're coming into our 3rd year.
Is this my favorite Aaron from Canada?
Not the Aaron on stream with us today. A different Aaron.
Okay, because right now he's my favorite Aaron from Canada. There's another Aaron from Canada.
There's another Aaron from Canada. He invented Fairship Rebels, which is just great, perfect.
Oh boy.
Those shots thrown.
But so basically we had a sort of the stores went under, stores stopped having space, so like the community was dying. So Aaron put together a little league to sort of like get competition going when there weren't tournaments, and sort of to keep players, giving them a reason to come out and play.
Well, the problem is there were tournaments. There were tons of tournaments, but everybody was playing Dash Corn all the time.
Yeah, and you'd
show up or one. Yeah, you just get locked into one list archetype playing pattern, and so he decided, and with a few other guys, let's make up a rule where you can't play the same name pilot, and you got to play a round of 7 matches over 7 weeks.
And that's it. That's what we're founded on, is you can't fly the same named pilot twice, basically, in the league. You can play anybody you want. You can show up and say, I want a league game, and you get a league game, and you play 1 game, and you're in the league. Is essentially how it works. It's really low bar of entry. We don't do matchings. We don't do pair-ups. We don't tell you who you have to play. We have a bit of a social pressure on you as we show your strength of schedule. So if that gets a little too low, people are going to be razzing you a bit, or you'll get challenges from some of the better players in the league for sure. And we've got a playoff, so we do the cuts. So we run, as Tim said, 7 weeks. So basically we have a 2-month season, and then a month of a postseason, which we put on VTTV Live. You can see them on Twitch, and where they stream tournaments, and on YouTube, where you can see the back catalog of our games. And sometimes we throw in some bonus points or other fun things that you can sort of, earn extra league points by playing a list variant. And that was much more popular in 1.0 than 2.0. We've almost seen no variant play, just because everyone's so excited, and 2.0 is so new that there's really no reason yet to dig into that.
Ships that you're like, wow, this one's really not getting played. We're going to give you extra points to play the ship. Yeah. Is that kind of how it went?
Yeah, we did points for ships. I think we have a website, flycasual.ca. It's sort of got a historic breakdown of in our rules what all the different versions of the points were, and they changed every season for about 4 or 5 seasons. We've got a couple of variants we came up with, like mercenaries, where you ran 70 points of Imperial or Rebel and 45 points or 50 points of Scum. So that one was really fun.
Wow.
Yeah, right.
That sounds fantastic.
And what we did to sort of control that was we, as a group, took submissions of like 45-point Scum ships, and then you could roll a d20 and you could pick one for you.
Yeah, there was just 20 lists already built for you. Okay, you got number 16. It's a Kirax fighter with inertial dampeners and up rocket. There you go.
So you can't break the game with making your own list of Empire and Scum or Rebel and Scum. You have to take, this is what this mercenary is. You take him, and that's what you get.
Yeah.
And he's usually shit.
Yeah.
Does that make for fun? I mean, that's got to make for fun games.
Okay, here, let me line you up one. I had 2 strikers, a TIE interceptor, and a completely naked jump master.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's just gotta wrap.
Or maybe you get a
tricked
out Cavill, or maybe you get Dace Bonearm, or maybe you got Guri, or maybe you got a couple of Sikhs, or maybe you got like some of these like unused pilots sort of in the middle, but like teched out to sort of really be like a useful ship on top of what you already had. Yeah, it was really it's really fun, and you can probably do it in 2.0 as well. If you sort of just like peg it at 64 or 65 points or something, so that you can't like throw Fen Rao in with a crazy ability, then yeah, I don't see why that wouldn't be a ton of fun.
I'm gonna steal the hell out of this for my store. This sounds fantastic.
Yeah, another popular one was welterweights. So you have to fly named pilots, and they can't be it used to be they can't be higher than pilot skill 7. So it had to be 6 or below.
Okay.
So you couldn't take Glaives, right? Because they had to be a non-generic ship or a non-generic named pilot. Yeah, when that one was really fun too. And you couldn't take VI or adaptability.
So
the key to this though is you got to get the stores in the area to cooperate. That's the challenging bit. And the communities in the stores. Yeah, exactly. But you know what? If everybody cooperates, then surrounding areas, they follow suit, and all of a sudden you got yourself with a network of squads.
Because the PTL, we play across probably 4 or 5 stores at this point. You can play basically any evening of the week you want in Toronto, and we average this last season we had in the mid 50s for turnout for players. A low season during the summer will be somewhere in the 40s, and we've topped out in the 70s for players.
Let me stop you here. What is the PTL?
So the PTL is the Prototype Toronto League.
Okay. So is that like a conglomerate of stores to try to get players all in on the same kind of a deal, or is it just one store? Or
stores? Man. I mean,
there's no deal. It's just the players playing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's just players then.
So we organized a league, and we said you can play league games at any store you want, right? So in that way, there aren't any, like within the city of Toronto, there aren't any isolated groups that are sort of cliquey, right? Sure. It's because we're all part of like the Toronto group as a whole, right? Is all part, generally speaking, of part of the PTL. When you get out into the GTA, you get into different squads.
Lots of good squads who are all going to show their colors on the weekend.
Sure,
and certainly we've got
all in one league.
Yeah, sure. All of Toronto's in one league.
We all play with each other.
Yeah. That's awesome. Was this created from a need or just a want?
It was
supply and demand, man.
It was definitely a need where one of the biggest places to game was getting really unpleasant to play in terms of, as Tim was talking about, There was a lot of like very competitive players. Not that being competitive is a bad thing, but you would show up and there would be like only one list to play against. There might be 5 or 6 people, but everyone's put in, Jake and dash down or Corn and dash down, right? And it's just not fun. And like you're doing the mirror every night, or you're playing different people, but you're playing the same list, and it just burns you out, right? So giving little prizes to people for like showing up, playing games, playing by our silly rules, right? And it just led to a community that sort of thrives on that sort of list building. And I mean, the competitive players are still there and they still get that practice in. And it's because the league isn't very heavy handed. We're not requiring you to drive across town and play some random dude that you have to organize a game with, or we're not like matching players. We're not making you play 20, 30 games in a
you get a game in and that counts towards the league.
You agree for
what I've had to go to.
Yeah, you agree
so you can play a game with your buddy in your basement, but then you got to play a game with somebody other than your buddy in your basement.
Yeah,
right. You can't just play the same guy over and over and over and over.
Exactly. Well, and then like some of the smaller stores, the guys had to like go to get those 7 games in, right? You got to play 7 different people. Well, if the game store's only got 5 regulars, then you got to go out. You got to go to a different store. You got to meet more people. You got to get involved. Yeah, and
that just broadens the whole X-Men community out as well. I know it's kind of a pain in the butt. You gotta drive somewhere and go do this, but you're gonna meet people that you would have never met before, and all of a sudden they're gonna be your best X-Wing buddy, and all of a sudden you're calling them for some serious practice, and you're getting good reps in, and then the community just grows that way.
Yeah,
is that what you guys are seeing? That the outcome from this is that the community is growing much bigger.
That's also how you get some of the top ranking Vassal players from the side of the Niagara as well. You got Evan, and then there's Lucas. Lots of folks from this side who have consistently placed well on Vassal as well.
Paul Fields in the deep core as well.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, guys. That sounds fantastic. There's so much goodness that you guys just said, and I'm stealing a lot of it. So,
good. Give it to somebody else too.
I'll take a minute here too to plug. Every year we do the PTL Open. We've just finished our second one, and what we do at the PTL Open is we try and have like a mini league that sort of everyone's invited to. So what you do is it's a 2-day event, a Saturday and a Sunday. Saturday morning, you play 3 games. Sunday morning, you play 3 games. And then we do the cut. And then on the afternoon each day, we have like side events and other little like X-Wing stuff going on. But what the twist is you have to bring 3 lists.
Ooh.
Now, if you play, right. So if you don't have to play all your lists, right? But if you play each list once, you get a free tournament point. So it's you play 6 rounds, but it's out of 7. Okay. And then if you play each list twice, there was a special prize for everyone who did that. Right. And so that's a really fun day. And we try, and because it's 3 lists and because it can be taxing, we split it up over 2 days. It's a very relaxed event. We hold it in a Legion, which is like a veterans hall, I suppose you have in the US.
Yep. We got Legions.
Yeah. They got a bar on site, and we got a nice big room with air conditioning, and we just have a good time.
Shit, it sounds like I might be making 2 trips to Canada this year. That sounds like way too much fun. I almost need to be there for that. So, but no, that's great. Where can people go and sign up for this?
So you can sign up on our Facebook group, which is the Prototype Toronto League. You can join our Discord. We just launched that this year, sort of like to sort of bring all of the private chats together and to get them sort of coalescing in one place, and sort of again like trying to break down like the cliquiness or the sort of like the walls you put up between like competitive players and casuals or occasional players, and trying to break down the walls between like like in groups and out groups, and sort of trying to like bring everyone together, make all those conversations accessible and involve everyone. And I think that's worked really well. And you can find like an archive of like photos and stuff we've done and our rules and some of the stuff I've been talking about on flycasual.ca, which is our little website that we kicked off, I think, about 6 months ago.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Flycasual.ca, guys.
.ca.
.ca.
Yeah.
Not US. All right, I got that. I'm gonna put that in the show notes. We're gonna get some people your way. I guess my next question is let's hit VTTV up. What is this all about? And if you're living under a rock, you should know who VTTV is.
Well, VTTV Live puts out some really good X-Wing content if you want to learn how to do some list building, or if you want to catch coverage of some of the premier level FFG games, X-Wing, as well as the rest of them, Armada, Legend of the Five Rings, etc. And, you know, they've got coverage of the system open on the weekend, so that you can tune into their Twitch, or they are going to have a YouTube channel going as well, and catch that coverage.
Yep.
So I don't think a lot of people know, what does VTTV stand for?
So VTTV is Victor Travis Television.
And if you know VTTV, you know you Victor and you know Travis. So,
well, I think actually most people don't. I think that's the problem. Victor, unlike Gold Squadron, you know, Dion's always front and center, right? Dion's always on camera. I mean, that's changing now, but you know,
Gold Squadron, the way he likes it. Don't worry,
we're linked, right? And certainly, again, you didn't want to bring it up, but I'll bring it up because it's my trauma. Like during like the Harpoon issue at the last Canadian Nationals, right? A lot of people aren't aware of who Victor and Travis are and how they're involved and what they do. When these guys put in, we just show up and we talk on camera, you know, and you get comments from people, like you see really bad commentary on the FFG live stream for Armada, and you have people in the chat saying, well, they've got VTTV Live right there in the front row. They should have them commentating. And it's like, those guys aren't VTTV Live. We're just like schlubs in the community who show up and talk, right? Victor and Travis are the ones, they schlep the equipment everywhere. They set everything up. They've got a huge rig. You know, Travis programs everything. And like these guys have sunk more money into their streaming than, and not to mention like the time they've put into it that they could have been working, than I've ever.
Yeah, they do a lot for the community, and not just the X-Wing community as well. But anyway, they're definitely going to be enjoying working this weekend. I know that they're looking forward to the event. Victor's been diving into the scum ties. He can't get enough of them.
Yeah, it's nice to see Victor back playing X-Wing again. He abandoned us for Armada for quite some time.
I think he's going to be commentating on some Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? So we'll actually get to hear Victor on VTTV.
Absolutely.
Well, that will be awesome.
Well, Victor and Travis are gifted producers, just like Dion's a gifted producer. But
I wasn't meant to be knocking Dion in any way. Dion's fantastic, but like Victor and Travis
he's talent and a producer, though.
Viewers.
Yeah, he's all right.
Listen, I spent 12 hours with him at Coruscant in front of the camera, so I can't.
Just ask him who his idea guy is.
Oh yeah, okay.
He'll lie. Oh, I haven't ragged on Dion in a long time, and I'm still not going to do it justice today.
He's going to come rag on us this weekend, so we'll see if him and Marcel can pull one out for you folks.
Well, you've got Mark Stewart in the chat. He can rag on Dion for the rest of us.
Mark does just about as good a job as I do. So, yeah, you tell Dion Coach says hi.
But certainly, please do. It's VTTV.live. You can check them out on Twitch. Check them out on YouTube. They'll be streaming the system open on both of them. There were going to be 2 streams this weekend at Canadian Nationals. They generally have 2 streams going, usually one for X-Wing and one for the what I would call secondary events. So the other FFG games, the lesser FFG games. Usually they try and throw them a bone and film their top shots.
Devin, the Keyforge turnout's going to be good. You know it.
Keyforge should be good.
It's so good they were not confirming or telling any or mentioning any numbers. That's how good it is.
Ooh. Okay, so make sure that I will make sure to post that link on our Facebook page, and I'll raid other guys' Facebook page to get you guys some extra. I'm pretty sure everybody's going to be tuning in this weekend. It's Toronto. It's System Open.
It's the first one since the point change, right?
It's the first one since the point change. Everybody's going to be just glued to you guys.
And we've got actually VTTV Live just popped up in your YouTube chat. So they're going in there with their they're saying they're going to be doing the top cut for the L5R as well.
I also
on their
see
secondary channel.
Legend of the Rings top cut. Legend of the Rings. Oh, L5R.
It must be 5 rings.
I don't even know what it's called. I just call it L5R. Oh, that's so sad.
Always preferred Ticket to Ride myself.
I'm assuming that you guys are not VTTV in the chat.
No, that's Victor or Travis jumping in.
Well, Victor and Travis, son of a bitch.
Well, Victor, both of them work off hours.
We gotta get these schlubs on the show, and we could have had the real minds behind the production.
For sure. I mean,
just
both of them were willing to come on. Just the timing unfortunately didn't work.
Geppetto was busy, so you're stuck with us, unfortunately.
But I was going to say a warning for all of those who join our Facebook group during league season. What players must do is they must produce a battle report. So the notifications go a little bit wild, especially after Tuesdays and Fridays, which are big X-Wing nights in Toronto. Generally the winner, it's their punishment for winning, must write up a battle report, which includes both lists. And so not only are you seeing that other people are playing games, you're seeing where they're playing the games, and you're seeing what they're flying as well. So
has anyone thrown a game so they don't have to do that?
So it isn't a rule that the winner writes. Usually it's a discussion at the end of the game, but usually it's
boo.
Usually it's you want to write it? You won. Then they sort of like guiltily say okay.
We currently have a muted member.
It's not a written in stone rule.
We have a muted member that will be on after the commercial break that says it's always him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
We have 1 or 2 players who refuse to use Facebook. So by playing them, you sort of tacitly enter into an agreement where you will be the one writing the battle report, win or lose.
I can't blame him. I really can't blame him.
It's either that or you hire a carrier pigeon. Or a raven.
As long
if
as
you want to go prime.
As long as it's an African swallow. Anybody else? No.
Well, I got it. I just didn't acknowledge it.
All right. Well, I have taken up enough of your time. I know my 2 wonderful co-hosts also have some questions for you guys, so I'm going to let them ask away.
Well, thanks, Coach.
Don't just jump in. You've not just had a half an hour to think about things to ask these guys.
This is why I have the eliminate silences button on my podcasts right here. Let's just let this pregnant pause linger.
I'll just let you know, pauses in dead air does not usually happen on this show.
No.
Yeah, we're usually kind of shocked when Coach stops.
That's very true.
It's all those Labatt Blues.
Yeah. I've had 4 beers right now, so yeah, it's almost ready for commercial time, but not quite yet.
So
it's what happens when the Canadians show up. Is you pre-drink we pre-drink with you, get you wrecked, and then your day's ruined. But we're fine.
It takes quite a bit to get me wrecked. Well, actually, I'm actually like cutting down on what I usually have on the show. So
yeah, the Gordon rule's in effect.
Gordon rule's kicking my ass.
Mm-hmm. You don't have to be polite like us. You can drink if you want.
Nobody's ever said I was polite.
Wait a minute, hey, Coach.
Yes.
Stutz might not be hearing this. You could probably go for the break the Gordon rule.
Who says someone won't tell Stutz?
We'll get into that at the end of the show. And yes, I'll be breaking the Gordon rule tonight. So, but that will be at the end of the show. So just a little teaser for all of you guys watching live. No, what Topsky, what do you got?
So I guess what have been during your time as organizing PTL, what have been road bumps along the way that you've run into and have found solutions to, or things you're still trying to figure out?
Certainly keeping engagement up is always tough.
Cherry picking.
Yeah, cherry picking was something we had to address multiple times.
You want new players to feel welcome. You want the variety of list building to welcome them, but at the same time, you want them to be able to learn that there's a whole bunch of interactions out there they probably haven't come across yet.
And sort of like when a player gets away with something, you just change the rules. We don't really like punish. Like when someone like abuses a gap in the rules, it's like, well, all right. And luckily we have a new season every 2 or 3 months, so we'll just change the rules and move on. So yeah, early on we didn't have a top cut, and then a player only played during the day and ended up, 100-0ing a bunch of newbies. Rose to the top, was at the top of Swiss, and just won the league. So after that season, we moved into top cuts. We haven't had a similar issue, right? You force them to play other good players. That's why you have top cuts. We've introduced, actually, as an interesting tidbit, we don't actually use MOV in the PTL. We use points destroyed, not point. So point preserving points doesn't get you anything.
Okay.
So it leads to
that's interesting.
It leads
Think of it like Imperial training.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're only rewarded for killing your opponent's ships. You're not rewarded for preserving yours. So if you're competitive, yeah, you've got 6 wins.
Why didn't you destroy all the ships? You had enough time.
But if there's a bunch of 6 and 1s or a bunch of 5 and 2s, right? The guys at the top had a bunch of 100-0s or 200-0s or almosts, right? Or in this case, they're getting 100 out of 100 possible points. So that's been a way of encouraging people to not fortress, or a way to encourage them to actually engage in attacking their opponent. In that, if you are in a position where you are going to be in a tiebreaker, you have to have killed enemy ships.
How long has that been put into place? Because I'd be curious to hear about your just if you want to elaborate on the experience of being in that environment, playing that competitively, and because I think a lot of people do have an issue with MOV and how Final Salvo's treated. So if things were calculated and tiebreakers were done based off only points destroyed, what have you seen as side effects of that, both good and bad?
Well, there's some bad ones. I mean, you can start with the effect of a player's mentality on, official FFG premier events. They have to get used to the notion of playing by how MOV works instead of points destroyed. But there's lots of benefits to it as well. You can look at it from Devin's point where you've got, encouraging the match to progress, and you use the full time allotted. And, it also encourages you to try the extra, push the limit.
Yeah, and certainly I've had a player tell me that, PTL games are not, competitive practice and aren't a good analog to competitive games because of the difference on how we treat our MOV versus or points destroyed versus MOV. But it's been that way since almost the beginning, to encourage. And again, the PTL was born in an era of like non-engagement -corn, where you're exchanging fire maybe twice in a game to eliminate one ship and then go. So, encouraging aggression and encouraging people to play the game. Points destroyed has been an interesting way of doing that. But to be honest, I don't think 60 or 75% of the players in the league would even know that we do points destroyed versus MOV. But those players who want to get that advantage, who might abuse an MOV situation or want to abuse the rules to get ahead, and I'm using abuse, I'm And
it's abuse. Yes.
Yeah,
it's the right
coming
word.
across negative, but I'm not meaning it in a negative way. Where like
it's the way the game is made.
It's a road to victory, right? Like it's how you win the league. It's how you get to the top. And so certainly we want to. I appreciate that mentality and that attitude and that drive to win, right? So instead of putting it at odds with the tournament rules and like the tournament or the league ethos, right? Like why not align the league in a way that channels that like competitive drive to act in a certain way in a more positive bent, right? It's like, okay, you want to behave that way. You want to behave in a way that you win. I want you to behave in a way that, everyone has a good time and everyone's engaging in the game, right? So let's create a tiebreaker like this, right? Where you have to engage your opponent's ships, right? Where you're not going to sit on MO, you're not going to final salvo. And any final salvo I think I've seen in the PTL has come to it naturally where the players just tied on points or didn't kill enough.
It's that weird instance where, I killed this many points, and odd enough, it came out to the same points. Yeah.
And Tim,
and it's also
Tim can attest. At the PTL Open, we gave players the option to, if they wanted to, a tiebreaker could be. We didn't want to go with Loop and Chewy. That seemed too obvious, and we can't find any in Canada.
Oh no! All right,
but
we're gonna have a fun drive.
we gave players the option of using Rock Band as a tiebreaker.
Should they so desire? That's interesting.
If they challenge in guitar, drums, or vocals matter?
I believe it was the person closest to 100% on whichever instrument they chose.
That's just not only entertaining for the people playing, but everyone else.
Right?
That's fantastic.
Right?
It's like Coach would have an in because, he hosts Crowley-Oki.
Oh, there you
go. I do. I'm vocals all the way. Unless they have a harmonica rock band, then I'm 100% every time.
I mean, if Ryan, if you went through our rules, like you could probably go through and each rule could have like somebody's name stapled to it, right?
Okay.
Like this rule exists because of this, right? And certainly, we had to change what we said. What you can run the same number of generics, but you can't run the same upgrades, and part of that issue, or I'm trying to describe the issue. During Dangaroo and when the Jump Masters were a problem, you would have players flying like 2 contracted scouts in Manaru, 2 contracted scouts in Dengar, 2 contracted scouts in Teltruva, 3 contracted scouts with different loadouts. And so it's like, well, okay, you're following the rules to the letter, but you're not fundamentally getting
rules as written.
Right. And then either you have a discussion with the player and you say, that's not really done. This is sort of like the social contract we've all entered into, and certainly there's a fair amount of that keeps the league alive, but also you have to go into the rules and say, why aren't the rules conveying what we want them to convey, right? Like, why didn't this player understand the meaning of the rules, right? So then what we need to do is we need to go in and make a little explanation and say, okay, so how do we stop this from happening in future? What's a restriction we can put on generics so that you're not going to just show up with 6 black squadron or 8 black squadrons with crack shot game after game after game, or you're not going to show up with 3 contracted scouts with torps and everything all up the wazoo, and you just play the same list functionally 3 times in a row or 7 times in a row versus the ideal of the league, which is showing up with multiple different lists or stretching your list building skills and reaching out and trying to find chips that don't work, right? Certainly by the end of 2.0, that was more difficult to do. which is why we started reaching out to the different bonus points where it's like, okay, well, you get bonus points for flying, a Punisher in 1.0 or, a Seek or some of these other like or a TIE Aggressor, like some of these underplayed ships, sort of like forcing the competitive players who really want to win. Okay, well, to get to that top level, right, you need to get those extra 3 bonus points, which is we give 4 league points to a win. You get 2 for participating and 2 for winning. So it's almost the equivalent of 75% of a win, right? That's a pretty big that's a pretty big points difference or it can be, So it was really interesting to see these competitive players jump into some of these underplayed ships, sort of seeing what they could do, playing a 70-point list essentially with a 30-point handicap, and just I don't know. Yeah, certainly you have to keep. I guess this is a long way of coming back to what I first said, was when I was talking about community, keeping the community engagement up, and that can be very difficult when you get to the end of 1.0, where the basic rules of the league are sort of subverted by the amount of pilots available, and the competitive play and what's good has become so toxic that people don't want to play. And certainly, I think before, when we were chatting before we still went live, we were talking about how play has been picking up in Toronto, which is nice to see. I know play has been down sort of across Canada, and certainly, as it's going to take a few years to sort of build back to where we were a year or two ago. And I think if you keep your local league interesting, if you keep it from suppressing fun, and if you encourage engagement between all the different groups in your area, then only good things can happen.
And yeah, like you said it the best. Sometimes you got to do something different.
Yeah,
just to keep the group going. I mean,
Absolutely.
I understand we all like to follow FFG rules and we're doing this, but 1.0 to 2.0 change was very drastic.
It was.
And I'm feeling it at my own store in my own local community, and I'm trying different things to try to get that back in. And it just, some people are just burned by it. Some people are open to it, but they just don't have the time. It almost seemed like it was the regular thing. This is what I had, and all of a sudden the game changed, and it offered a break. And that break was detrimental to their regular schedule, and now it's tough to get back into it.
And I mean, and I know some of our local guys were sort of like, it was, it's what you did. It was your hobby. And then like 2.0 came in, and it's like, it's not a lot of money. And I hate when people complain about it being a lot of money. It's not. But, and I don't care if it's an excuse or not, but some of the guys, it's just like, it's my out. My interest was waning, or like I was sticking around because the community or whatever, and it was just a reason for
exactly what it was. That's exactly what it was. It was an easy out.
Yep. And I can't fault them for it. I mean, certainly. No. I mean, I've walked away from games before too. So.
Okay, so we're gonna wrap up. That was awesome, Devin. That was great. Tim's phone died.
It did in the mid. I part of the reason I kept going was like you guys figuring out Tim what to do when Tim's phone died.
So maybe you crazy other country people should get the regular old plugins for your phones. You don't have to get the Just kidding. I know Canada doesn't have the whatever. But we're going to go to
going with that.
I had, it was like one of those jokes that I was building up, and it was going to be great. And it was like, nope, fell flat on your face. Just move on, coach. Just move on. So I tell you what, this is where we all get to go potty and go bathroom and get another beer. So Montana, it is up to your decision on what commercial you would like to
pick whatever commercial you think is best for Canada.
There you go. I like that one.
Hey guys, I have to get up really early in the morning to drive to a breakfast.
Oh shit! Well, never mind then. Hold on. Xnay on the commercial K.
No, it's okay.
I want to get an Uncle Mark's get off my playmat segment in here. So I know you got one. I know you got one.
If he doesn't have enough time and he has got to go, it's fine. I mean, next
all
week,
right,
next week I'll have to board a plane early to go to Crate Cup, so I might have to be short next week.
All right,
Uncle Mark, it's a pleasure to meet you.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Devin. I enjoy what you guys do. I try to catch it every opportunity I get. Hopefully this weekend I'll get to throw it up on my flat screen and watch a few games there. I think my son might be coming over, the hero of the Empire. We're going to try to get a couple of games in sometime, I think, but that changes as volleyball shows up. The whole get off my playmat though this week evolves around some really cool sound effects that I've picked up along the way. and you know, I've got this is Sparta! I'm really you know, enjoying these shut up. And
what is
I could literally do this for like for hours.
Oh no!
And these will be coming to a
Oh, please do that when someone's slow playing.
Oh, wait, no, wait. We had dead air. We had dead air, and you didn't play that one.
Yeah, I know. if someone is slow playing you, please play the crickets. It'll be so good.
This will be coming to an X-Wing tournament near you sometime.
Dear Lord, if anyone in the audience is an app developer, we seriously need an Uncle Mark app that is just sound effects that Uncle Mark has picked out. Make it free and make it available. Because this needs to happen.
Well, Harold is in Korea now, you know.
Well, there's plenty of app developers in Korea. You just walk down the street and bump into one.
And I've actually found about 3 different Roger Rogers. And I'm so looking forward to seeing everybody at Adepticon at the end of March. I will be coming fully loaded with sound effects, just to, you know, I won't win any games, but I'll sure have a good time irritating everybody around me.
Can we please have this app be nothing but written in Korean as well? Like, how funny with that Uncle Mark's Korean soundboard app.
And the problem is there's like 15 pages of these things.
Have you been able to tell? Have you been able to tell the difference between a sad Roger Roger, a happy Roger Roger, and then whatever the other third one is?
One the Star Wars soundboard.
No, there is a sad Roger Roger and a happy Roger Roger. Isn't there in the movies?
I don't know.
He's like Roger Roger. Roger Roger. Oh, maybe not. I said drop him. Okay.
Droids everywhere, my ears.
So the thing is, on the Uncle Mark's X-Wing soundboard app, every time someone finishes with their dial, you have to do the Law and Order dun.
Yeah, that could happen. That could very easily happen. What's going on? Excited about the Republic that we saw. Excited about. I'm you know, Toronto's coming up, and then we've got Crate Cut coming up. And a lot of those are going to be streamed. So we're going to have a lot of good content coming up. I'm excited to see that. Echo Base.
Yep.
Echo Base. They're doing a fun thing with the Aces League from Vassal, where they sit down and break down the games that actually get on vlog.
Mm-hmm.
and they're pretty entertaining. But they seem to only want to show Morgan Reed for some reason.
Yeah. Eventually,
I'm sure there's 2 or 3 more people playing other than just Morgan. Of course, he's the only one winning, but that's been entertaining to catch up with, and Kevin Luntz is kind of I'm not saying leading the charge on that, but he's the one I know best. These are just the things that I've been observing lately. We're having a good conversation in the groupies. Well, I don't know about good all the time. We've got a lot of conversation going on in the groupies.
Tim's having a wonderful conversation in the groupies. Shout out, Tim. Love you, buddy.
And I see Gordon's in here too, demanding that we follow the Gordon rules and blah blah. But at least he knows who Rush is.
I know who Rush is. I just don't like Rush. I'm sorry. I don't get it.
Oh, you American, you.
Whatever. How about I make everyone's pre-commercial day, and as a special birthday present to Ontopsky, I might divulge a little information about Adepticon. As of now, it is myself, which everybody knows. It is Chicago. And it's Kyle.
Sweet.
So probably spending some money on a cardboard cutout of Montana, and it will be every single co-host of the OCX radio podcast in one location.
Well, tell Sloot there's a hug coming.
Oh, I'm sure there is.
He's going to get a big hug.
So there's your little pre-commercial end of Get Off My Playmat teaser.
And Canada, thanks for showing up, coming down, playing with us. And I'm off to bed because I've got to get up really early and drive 3 hours for meetings. So everybody, good night. Love you.
Okay, hold on. Everybody, unmute.
Oh. I don't know. Oh, there's one of them unmuted.
Everyone can unmute and say,
oh, they're all there.
Good night, Uncle Mark.
Good night, Uncle Mark.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for being on, gang. Talk to you later.
And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to take us into our commercial break. So take it away, Montana.
Yay. You're all free now.
Everyone's free. The unmuted band is gone. You are now free to commerce and enjoy the commercial break.
Now all the other PTLers can tell me how idiotic I sounded talking about the PTL.
Oh, so
you got it all wrong.
I was going to say, you can blame him for taking us all the way into the commercial for you guys to be silent.
Shit.
It's all right. We're going to have a rag on Devin moment after the commercial break where you all can tell him why he's wrong. It's going to be great.
100%. This sounds like my Tuesday night.
I'm going to control the pairings for the top four, so I can't
I'm going to go to the bathroom now, so Chris Chico Brown can come on and discuss with you guys whatever he wants to do for the next 10 minutes, because that's what he does. So I'll see you guys in 10 minutes, and hopefully try to catch Chico at the same time, which doesn't happen. So, hi, Chico, in advance.
I'm not going to Toronto, but I got some local guys who are heading up there. They're excited to play.
Great. What are they flying?
Imperial. That's all I know.
Good to hear.
I don't know what they came down to, but it's definitely Imperial.
Where are you local to?
I am local to just northeast of Detroit.
Okay.
It's called Sterling. It's Sterling Heights, Warren, Troy-ish area. But yeah, Warren is where the Michigan Regional or Hyperspace Trial is going to be May 18th.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we've had trouble trying to make sure that, like, I've talked to the store rep, and he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna get the kit and everything." And I've told OP to like, the OP said like we're gonna be on the list. And last time the list was updated, I was like, "Well, they still don't have you on there." And he's like, "I'll email him again. It's happening."
Yeah, from when we had one of the stores was in the chat where they were deciding all the dates, and we had 3 stores disappear from the original list to like what went public. So we still got to figure that out. So yeah, we got Ontario ones. We've got 2 in Ontario, May 4th and May 11th. So, and then
oh wow, it's really close.
Yeah. So it's just like, can we get to Detroit? Can I get a group together for Detroit for May 16th? It's probably not.
Do it. And I'm probably judging anyways, so don't have to worry about me playing.
I say yes, Devin, but my wife says no.
Yeah, fair.
It's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission.
No,
might be
Evan,
a little hard to drive away without telling her.
No, but Evan, you drove to Detroit with the guys.
I did, but that was before I had my daughter.
Yeah, but didn't you drive back for something? Like,
yeah, it was. So my wife's baby shower was the next morning, so I went there. Went 6-0 in Swiss, lost in the first round of the cut, and drove 7 hours home at 11 p.m.
Wow.
Through the first round of the cut, right?
Yeah, we'll say it was intentional. Yeah.
Gotta go.
Hey, Detroit's easier than some of the places the bus has gone to.
Oh, that's true. Rochester was pretty rough.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And we did a 17-hour haul to Fredericton in New Brunswick. Yeah, that might not be repeated.
Oh, that's the one thing we needed to ask Tim before he went off. Talk about the bus organizer, Tim.
Yeah. Well, you'll just have to have him back on. He loves talking about it.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm assuming the next time he plans a bus and makes it available to people in the States for going somewhere like Gen Con or Worlds, we'll probably have him promoted anyway.
Yeah, we were going to have one for Adepticon, but it never really got traction.
Okay.
I don't know. And then none of the guys locally bought their tickets in time before it sold out. So we had
that sold out. Like there's some well-known competitive guys in the Midwest area that are like, oh shit, I guess I can't play now. Crap. So
I've been debating.
Was really weird. Like, for us locally, like we had the system open. It's like really close, and like and then having the added thing of like, oh, the Adepticon tickets were like selling out super fast. People aren't really paying attention until like the couple of weeks beforehand.
Plus, like, I wasn't expecting a lot of traction until people didn't get Worlds invites at the Toronto System Open.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm just going to go and make top 8 at the Toronto System Open and get my ticket. Right? But when that doesn't happen, they're going to be like, oh, where can I go get a Worlds invite now? Right? It's like, oh, Adepticon. Well, then, like, I figured we'd get a couple more signups at that point. And we were always just sort of hovering right around go, no go. And then as soon as you get no go for the bus and you downgrade to a van, you lose a bunch of other people. And then anyone who plays Armada is, I don't know, richer than stink because they all bought plane tickets immediately. So
jeez,
what do I know?
Yeah.
But Armada is rough too because the World Championship's on the Thursday.
If that's during the FFG panel, you might miss out on that Vulture Droid giveaway. I don't know. I know it's going to be on sale, but the Vulture Droid price is, I'm assuming, like it's the base $20. When I went to Gen Con and they had their panel, they gave away 2 Keyforge decks per person, which is $20. So there's a chance you go to that panel, they could give it away and then sell the rest of them at, because there's the conflicting part of like in the article, they're like, come to our panel and then afterwards to get our Vulture Droid limited edition.
It's like as you walk out the door, here's your Vulture Droid. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's a chance at that. So
I don't know. I've been debating just like booking it down there and just trying to talk my way onto stream with Dion. I'm sure it'll work out.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
You sure didn't piss
It worked
Dion
out
off
once before.
No, I think that was great. We got a lot of really well for it.
I'll say for VTTV, you guys had all the fancy graphics before anyone else did. Like pulling cards up and like appearing out of nowhere and like spinning and like card right there. Oh, this thing. Like,
these guys have production value. Like they have a guy sitting by the table with a tablet who's like, putting in the damage that updates on the overlay.
That's key. And I forgot that, Evan. I should have mentioned it. Yeah, because it's like you usually have one producer, Victor or Travis, back with the two guys commentating, and then you've got one of them at the table with an iPad who's doing all the overlay stuff on the table. Okay. So they're keeping track of damage, shields, keeping the numbers updated, moving around.
Yeah, because when I see Dion stream, I don't see like that third person you don't see broadcasting that's controlling all that. So if you guys have that, then that's a step up. I wonder if Dion would take at some point.
Oh, it's like but when the PTL was at Coruscant, we were the only people offering to help Dion. Right? Which struck me as really odd. Like all of these competitive X-Wing players know Dion. They're all like, hey, how's it going? They're all walking by him. But no one's saying, hey, Dion, can I help you schlep some stuff to the car?
Yeah.
Hey, man, do you need help commentating? Hey, man, like, can I do something for you? Can I help you set up? Can I help you tear down? Can I do anything for you? It just ended up being like a bunch of us Canadian dudes helping him out.
Yeah, I remember. I mean, in most events, he already had everything set up or taken down by the time I was there or before or when I was leaving or whatever. But like at Gen Con, I only signed up for the second edition pre-event, like where they're just like, here's some quick builds. You get a core set in this event, and you get like a Y-wing or a TIE Advanced. So I didn't play in the Continental Championship. So I told Dion, I'm like, Dion, let me know if you need broadcasting help. I will jump on. And he already ended up having a lineup of people set up for it anyway. So,
yeah. But he's coming up. I think he's going to be staying with Aaron, who's on the chat here today.
Yep, that's the plan.
Cool.
Yeah, he's going to be up. He's actually going to get to play, and so I think he's pretty excited.
So, Aaron, make sure he gets no sleep. Really throw him off his game. Can't have an American going home with this.
Just have him constantly talk about 1.0 Kylo with him, and he'll stay up the whole night.
I'll put a speaker somewhere in the room and not tell him where.
Oh, as funny as that may be, he might not like that.
No, that's that would be bad. And then he just comes and wakes me up all night, and it just it makes nobody happy.
Yeah, and your picture could be like what you look like in the morning after he wakes you up all the time. Just The
picture is very apt for many situations.
It's great.
I thought that was a live feed.
Just the whole conversation he's face bombing.
Yeah, like it's not far from the truth.
If you guys aren't aware, before I started casting on OCX as much, Coach would look like that a lot, like 2 hours into the show, because he had drank a lot more, but it'd be two hands. Oh, what have I drank? So I think Patrick made a compilation of Coach, and a good amount of that was him just like drunk.
Sounds about what I've expected.
So how many guys actually do listen to OCX? Don't feel bad if you don't. You have people on who don't.
I'm 50-50.
Okay.
Not every episode. Depends how much I'm driving that week.
I'm the same.
I
Sometimes I'll just like delete all the X-Wing, not like unsubscribe, but just like I'll get tired of listening to X-Wing podcasts, and I'll just like delete a bunch of the stuff, and then I'll just like listen to it as it comes in.
Yeah. Okay.
I listen off and on. It's more like what do I remember to listen to, less than it's like, oh yeah, OCX, let's listen to that, and then Scum and Villainy same way. Sometimes it's like, oh yeah, that's a podcast, I should maybe listen to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I work from home, so I'll just like throw it on as like a playlist, and then I'll just have like a bunch of them played, and I'll be like, did I listen to those? Go back and listen to it. I'm like, I didn't listen to this, but it's already been played. just on in the background.
Yeah,
I've been listening a lot more lately, but that's mainly because I've been more tuned into what's happening with X-Wing. I don't know why, but for this system open, I'm getting very competitive.
Ooh, good time to have you on.
Mm-hmm.
Which is not good because I'm probably going to scrub out and then it'll just look bad.
As it always, just no matter what your thing is, the goal is always just make cut. Everything beyond that's gravy. If you don't make cut, then it's a giant learning experience. That's all I normally think of it as.
Oh, cuts.
I mean, Steven, you only fly one. Oh, so Steven, you only fly one list, so you're well prepped for any competitive event you go to.
I mean, yeah, that's true, but like, it's not because like, well, I mean, I guess that's true. Like, if I really wanted to be like actually competitive, I'd fly something more meta.
I think no meta. An N-num and an A-wing is pretty meta at this point.
I was gonna say that's the resistance meta.
Are you guys talking about fucking content during the commercial break?
It always happens. It's fine.
I don't know. You got the PTL on. We're going to talk nothing but content.
Yeah.
See, you know what I was doing? I was drawing a giant dick on a menu board.
Not that different from this conversation, to be honest.
I have a burger place that's pretty much forced me to cut my store in half, which is fine because I own the building and it's another renter. But he just put up.
They made me accept more money.
Yeah, exactly. They're making exactly. So he just put his menu board up and his dry eraser, and he's like, "Who's gonna draw the first dick?" I'm like, "It's my building. I'm drawing the first dick." So I drew a big dick. I says, "Cause it's my building, bitch."
Based on how long it took, I feel like this was very detailed dick.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Well, I had to pee, and then I drew it, and then I was gonna take a picture of it, but they erased it by the time I got my phone, and then I was like, "Oh, well, I'll have to draw it again." So
I think the kids call that big dick energy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was definitely big dick energy. I took a picture, and it will never be shared with anyone other than who I deem. So that's fine.
Or find Coach at Adepticon. He might show it on your phone when he's had enough beers.
You can do that. You can see my big dick at Adepticon.
Jeez, not that phrasing.
That's why I didn't buy tickets.
Walk right into that one. Why are you people not watching live? Well, I guess they are watching live. Oh man. So anyway, you guys got all your animosity out because we're gonna rehash it like here in like 20 minutes. So I hope you got your good sticking points. You're gonna stick it right to Devin right after this. So, but after this, it's all Toronto talk. So we're gonna introduce you guys. We'll do the same thing. Where are you from? What's your factions? So keep it short a little bit, but and we'll go right into it. So everybody good?
Good.
Everybody unmuted? Unmuted? The unmute ban lifted? Good. Awesome. I went an hour-ish because I forgot to write down the timestamp.
Oh, you were so proud of yourself at the beginning.
I was so good at it, too, but I really had to pee. 33. All right. Excuse me. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the OCX Radio Podcast Show, the best of the X-Wing podcast shows for those who listen. For those who don't listen, I'm sorry, we're just better. So maybe you should hear from a friend of a friend of a friend that we are better than everyone else, and then you can find out firsthand why we are better, because we just are. We just are. Except for Stay on Target. Those guys are top-notch. And I'm not just saying that because Gordon's in the chat.
Nope. Anytime a Stay on Target podcast comes up, it immediately goes to the top of my priority list.
It goes right there. I don't know what it is. It's definitely not Gordon. I'm Mikhail and Franch. God, I love Franch. Franch is the best. And he's the most underused pilot card of that entire show. He's like the corn horn of Stay on Target.
Cornhorn 2nd edition, specifically.
Yes. There we go. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we have lifted the ban on the Canadian invasion. We made Devin and Tim come through the port of entry, but now it is just straight open borders right now. They're all flooding in. So, I want to introduce a bunch of great X-Wing minds that we have with us today. Number one, I want to get off Stephen Kim, a.k.a. Rathos, otherwise known as the mastermind behind YazB 2.0. YazB in general, I suppose.
Yep.
Stephen, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Now, you will understand that I have a long-standing beef with D. Basically, because he's a degenerate of a human being.
I mean, who doesn't really?
I know, but mine's personal though.
Oh, okay. I mean, who doesn't really?
Well, oh shit! I have nothing to come back to that from. You literally have stumped me. That is a rare feat. That's awesome. But you're also from the Toronto area?
Yeah, Toronto.
Awesome. Are you also a part of the PTL?
Yep. They are the main reason why I'm probably I got into the community hardcore, because they had I don't know when did the Force Awakens come out? I started around
2016. Late 2015, early 2016.
Yeah,
that
December 2015.
When that movie came out, that's when I started playing, and PTL was already kind of in full swing at that point, and so I had a rich community to join and get heavily involved with. So then everything took off from there.
Awesome. Also joining us today is none other than my favorite Aaron from Canada, Aaron Dater.
Hey.
Only because he's the only Aaron I know from Canada, but that's and he's on my show. So away.
There's a couple good Aarons up here. So
see, you keep mentioning
I can't take
that,
credit.
But they're not on the show. So therefore, favorite. Boom. Right there.
I got nothing to say about that.
Just accept it and move on. Whoever's number one in my book doesn't really mean a whole lot these days. So
at least I'm number one somewhere.
There you go. I like it. Hey, Aaron Bonner and Aaron Kroll welcome you into the X-Wing Aarons group.
Thanks. I'll try to get the invite out to the other Aarons.
It's a very small group. But
small but mighty.
The more Aarons, hey, maybe we'll have a Craig Cup team next year. Just Aarons.
So I think Craig Cup next year should be 100% name based.
That would be fun. AAA.
Ryan Fleming, Ryan Farmer, Ryan Ontopsky.
Okay, I will take Aaron Kroll, Aaron Dater, and Aaron Bonner any day.
Teams.
Can we only fly A-Wings?
Sure.
I will take you up on that. I will take A-Wings.
We got Aaron Bonner. We're fine. He'll figure out some weird RZ1 combo that no one's figured out.
I'm in. There you go.
Done. There we go. Craig Cup 5, team of Aarons. Or we can call it's AARON, not ERIN. You ever get that?
Yes, I also got Aaron.
Okay.
I
Sorry.
Can admit. Yeah.
The team name writes itself. You done messed up, Aaron. That's probably the team name.
It's the you done messed ups.
I have a sweater that actually says that. It's a terrible Christmas sweater, but
that's awesome. You got to let me know where you got.
We'll probably use that as team jerseys when that comes up. So
I love it.
Aaron, where are you from, buddy?
Toronto, born and raised, my whole life. So, yep, wouldn't want to leave. I got everything here.
Awesome. And bringing up the rear, as always, because I haven't said that in a very long time, and I've been waiting to say that forever. We have Mr. Evan Cameron.
Yes, that's right.
Cameron. I was going to say, I don't think I could screw that one up, but you never know.
From the deep core of Vassal.
Ooh. Wait a minute. That's like hardcore players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got some actual knowledge to throw our way today, huh?
Hey, the other guys do too.
But are they deep core?
That's right. I am Deep Core Evan. That is my name.
I love it. That's great. Okay, so we're gonna really quick go down the line. What we're starting with Steven. What was your favorite faction in 1.0, and what are you looking forward to in 2.0?
So I was Rebel player in 1.0. I flew Rebel and Imperials, but no one remembers when I flew Imperial because I only ever flew Rebels in any tournaments.
Steven, you didn't just fly Rebels; you flew Ray Poe.
I flew. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Actually, I didn't. I flew Ray Poe exclusively for about a year, and then
it's almost like its own faction.
He knew the resistance was happening. It's by itself. It was preparation.
Yeah. I'm actually very sad that Ray is not that good in 2.0 because I still can't. I can't fly Ray Poe and be.
She's not good yet.
Well,
she's not good yet. You know, something's gonna come out there and Ray will rise to the top.
And that resistance transports come with a lot of crew. Maybe there's something.
She needs like a 10-point reduction.
Well, that seems like a lot.
No, that's not happening. I will straight up say that's not happening.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it's just not. Like
just as an April Fool's joke, just put it in Yasby as Ray is 69 points.
Yeah, I wish that's how it worked. I could just decide what the meta was going to be.
Like, I control it now. You all used my software. You must follow my rules.
Suckers. The illegal list. You're going to make Ian Ham's job just terrible.
Really confuse a lot of people who show up on tournament day. It's like, wait, how come this is not legal?
Steven, or maybe
what? Let's go ahead, Evan.
I think you might be onto something. Maybe you should do some tweaking over the next few days. Kick out a bit of our competition and build legal lists.
I see.
Man, imagine if all the third-party app developers that have made squad builders colluded together at one time and just messed with everything.
Yeah.
You could probably get paid by FFG for doing that. Don't, though. Seriously. You'll ruin my life. What are you looking forward to in 2.0?
I'm not actually looking forward to anything. I'm actually really happy with what we have now. Like, I think that there's a lot left to explore that people are not looking at because it's very like people found a bunch of good things early on and now they're attaching themselves to it. But there's tons of stuff, especially with the points update, that hasn't been explored properly. I know I was just literally having a conversation with someone about the 5 gunboats, right? Because that's really good, but like no one's really gonna play it. I don't think.
I will. You'll see it in Adepticon.
Yeah,
that's what I'm practicing right now.
Right, but like it's like solid and just good, but it's not flashy. So like probably a lot of people aren't looking at the combo and being like, "Oh, I really want to fly that." Like people thought 5 X-Wings was good, so why isn't that good? Right?
Just letting you know it's good.
Yeah,
5 X-Wings was good. Yeah,
it's when you can slam focus barrage rockets.
Yeah. The way I described it to my friend was, it's 5 T-70s, but then they all have the Black One title.
Coach, I want to make sure that when you're prepping for Adepticon, you're prepping for the right thing. You cannot shoot with the weapons disabled with a barrage rock unless you have the target lock on them.
I know.
Okay.
That's why I'm debating between sticking Jonas in there. Because you can fit Jonas in 4 of them.
But then it's not 5.
But Jonas can't keep up with the gunboats.
I think is it ion cannons everyone's looking at?
It's still worth it. It's still kind of that, screw it, I'll take the target lock. Or no, it's your 3rd round engagement. That's really what you're aiming for.
Honestly, like you shouldn't even bother with like trying to get like basically being greedy to try to get the shot when you slam. Like use the slam for what you should be using slam for, escaping, right?
It's escaping and reloading is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's really the main point with that list. Well, we'll get into that later because right now we're getting to know our new guests. So Rathos, sorry, your time is done now. You don't get to talk for the rest of the episode. So I'm really glad you incorporated all that really fun stuff. Just kidding.
That's a bit harsh.
Just kidding. Evan, what was your favorite faction 1.0, and what is your favorite faction going forward?
I'm a bit of a commitment phobe, so a bit of everything in 1.0. But I guess if I had to pick one, Imperial. Definitely an Aces type person. So enjoying Imperial in 2.0, but definitely looking forward to the Jedi Starfighter.
The old Aces play, huh?
Yeah. Any specific Jedi that you've seen so far?
No. Anyone that's I6, so I'll take Anakin.
Okay. Makes sense.
No matter what ability's printed there, I'll just take Anakin.
Done. Check mark. Got it.
How about Schrodinger's Mace Windu, who's both I4 and I5 at the same time?
Officially I5. He's officially I4.
Except for if you have the OCX All Dark card where it's a Freedom Sprite that he's piloting, and he's I5.
Done.
So, if you want some freedom, you fly I5 Mace Windu. Aaron, what was your 1.0 faction, and what are you looking forward to in the future?
Yeah, so I mostly played Rebels with a little bit of Scum in there. And that's sort of what I play in 2.0 as well. So yeah, now, like Steven said, now that we have the point changes, there's lots of combos, lots of things that have yet to be explored or found out. And
you're running Leia. Just tell us you're running Leia.
You know what? I was running Leia before the points changed, so that's how much I like Leia. So I was thinking, okay, 2 points less, but no, they went like full 2 points, period.
I'm just expecting that to go back up by like 2 or 3 points by the time, when the next points adjustment happens.
That's 6 whole months of Leia.
So when you opened your squad builder, you're like, whoa! What else am I gonna add?
That's pretty much it. Well, unfortunately, there was a Hawk in there too, so it sort of evened out, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. But that title needed to go up. That was a really good title. So
yeah, I agree. It's just fair now. It's just fair.
You know what? Again, my favorite Aaron from Canada. You're sticking to your bones, man. Rebels and Rebels. I like it.
Hey, when we have a healthy game, it's good for everybody. So
I do too. I think it's a good place. Everyone's got to be happy. So I mean, not everyone's going to be happy, but fuck them if they can't be happy. So, all right, guys, you're the ground reporters. You're on the scene. The big show's coming to your town. System Open, Toronto. What are we going to see, guys? Let's just dive right into it. Let's go into the list. What are you preparing against? Don't necessarily say what you're running because I don't want to ruin it for everyone, even though this episode is probably going to come out Friday or Saturday, so their list should already be made up. But let's go with what are we looking at seeing at the Toronto System Open?
I mean, I think honestly one of the most exciting things I saw was being out practicing on Tuesday, and there was a different list on every table. So I think you're going to see a lot of variety. Obviously, you're going to have the trip ups lines. You're going to have the new Venny combo. You're going to have the 4 Sigmas. But I think it's going to be a wide open field.
Is it sad that when I listen to I had to actually go, who the fuck is this Vinny guy? Because everybody keeps saying it's Vinny, and I'm like, I don't remember any Vinny in the card pack. They're like, no, it's Vinny. I'm like, again, same question. Who the fuck is this Vinny guy? And then they're like, well, he's a Star Fortress pilot. And I go, oh, that's why I don't know who that is.
Your favorite pilot from the movies.
Yeah. And then I looked at his ability and went, oh, got it. I understand now.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, it's basically if Venny is. Anybody got his card up?
Adds focus results. If you have him if he has the arc, or if friendly ship has an arc.
Any ship's turret arc has him.
Correct.
Yeah, it's the 1.0 title.
So
that's
it combos well. run him alongside the RZ2 A-Wing, so that's a turret arc too, and he's always getting 3 of 8 results.
God damn it, that's so good. Is that not like I got 1 defense dice and I'm only gonna I take a proton torpedo? I'm only taking 1 damage in 1.0. Is that basically what we're going back to?
Yeah, I mean, all you have to do is kill the other 2. Like the thing is, he doesn't output a ton of damage.
That's true.
I played one game against him, and it'll be there. It's a good list, but I don't think it's unbeatable.
How are you getting 3 of 8s?
There was a range 3. Yeah, you're only in 2 of 8s normally.
Okay, I'm like, what? I'm missing something. Like tally, I can understand. Like tally naturally would work. My personal thoughts on that list is the version we saw. I think Venny has too much thrown on that ship in terms of. I don't even think Venny needs trajectory simulator. It saves 10 points. M98 is a good card on Bastion. I don't know if locking Venny is that much more important anyway when you already have Ray Gunner as an effect. It does help the forward arc shot. There's just a lot going into Venny specifically, which does help survivability, but you can trim down Venny, and I think you can have Tally and 2 other RZ2 A-Wings. Because if you just leave it at that Lulo, Bastion, Venny, you just kill Lulo first. Venny can only get mods from its own side arc, and then assess the game state situation to burn Venny down or go after Bastion.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's going to be the thing about that ship is that its chassis is just really good. And you have a lot of options, but that doesn't necessarily mean that putting more on it is going to be really good. Like, in my opinion, like just put perceptive co-pilot so you get the focuses. It's a 270 arc 2 dice machine for a reasonable price that can, just output damage, right?
Yeah.
Like that's also good and not that expensive.
Yeah, and you don't even need Perceptive Copilot. You can spend 2 less points and go C-3PO. You just need the single results of the calculate, potentially.
Even better, now it has coordinate.
Yeah, for the random time it wants to.
Yeah.
So are we going to be seeing a lot of this list?
I think some people will be interested. I just don't know many people that are just going to be like, oh, this is the thing, let's throw it down. I feel like more people have prepped with their own squads leading up to system opens at this point. It's more of the people who aren't going to Toronto as the wait and see how things roll out.
Here's what I think is gonna happen. We're gonna see a lot of lists from people who were just flying what they were flying before and then updating them for the points because they don't really know. And a bunch of people who are going to try out the things that they're really excited to fly in the first place but never got a chance to because now things are a bit more balanced.
I can see that.
I think that list takes up the same sort of space as the triple epsilons in a way of people going on to see what's really good right now, and they're either going to play one of those 2 lists, and the epsilons have sort of been out for longer, so that's why we'll see that more than the Vinny list.
It's the new net list.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. I get that.
Especially in extended, I don't see epsilons being as successful as obviously in hyperspace just because of the tools that are allotted to the rest of the other factions. And people, I think the Trip Epsilon list has been the most head simmed and practice against list potentially in 2nd edition so far. Just because if it's a very specific opening or type of opening that is on the onus of the opponent to find a solution for, and everyone's working on finding that solution. So I think most like that Trip Epsilon player that's going to a system open, you can't max out that list much further than what it's going to do. There's a high floor, but not a really high ceiling at all. It's pretty low, I would think.
And I actually flew a list like that in 1.0 for some time. I called it like In Your Face from Outer Space, where I took Dormits and I had Rack with Kylo on it, and I just sort of slammed Rack into you round 1, and I blinded something. And I was near 100% versus 2 ship lists, so I just killed one.
Sure.
But the opening is so extremely important, and if your opponent can punk you on the Epsilon opening, you lose the game, and you don't really want to go into a situation where you're like, well, I'm 50-50 or 70-30 because, you know, half the guys I see punk my opening, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's hard because everyone's teched against it now too. So everyone has an answer for that list, which is why I don't think you'll see a lot of Scum, because I'm not sure Scum really has a fantastic answer to that list.
No, they don't.
I think Boba's still a strong answer, and Old Tarok could still make him sad in the first opening.
Is it going to be in the Toronto opening? And we see, okay, so there's the people that are like, I'm going to net list triple ups. That'll win me at least 4 games. But then they're not paying attention and saying that everyone's practicing against triple ups. So they're going to have a bad day.
I think it'll be similar to sort of where when we had quad TLTs first show up, and for like the better part of a year, there was just like this cloud of quad TLT players sort of at the, you know, top third of the field, right? Where it was
they never made the cut.
They don't make the cut, but they suppress so many lists that it cuts down on the diversity, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I think that there. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I think there's this it's an interesting situation though, because there are, unlike in that scenario where like it's suppressing a lot of stuff, there's a lot of answers for triple epsilon in a lot of different ways, and we have, I mean, there are also like a lot of more different like swarms and mini swarm lists that are potentially viable, of different ship compositions as well, right? Like 6 Y-wings is a thing that exists now, right? Like that's not something that we ever thought was ever going to happen. And so there's just like a lot of different choices that people have to like potentially do the same thing. So yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if I think people will fly triple epsilons. I don't know if it's really going to impact this tournament very heavily. I've been partly convinced by these guys, literally these 3 guys on the panel about this as well.
Yeah, I think the unfortunate thing is to Devin's point, it'll provide a filter, right? You're going to get all those players who want to bring something fun or haven't really run through something like trip ops before, and they just get crushed by it. Mm-hmm. But they're also getting, you know, the trip ops players are probably going to get at least a couple opponents who know what they're doing against it, and you know, they'll go 4-2 or 3-3.
Well, that's the other part. If potential trip epsilon players know that the ceiling generally is 4-2, that doesn't make it in the cut of System Open. So that might be a why bring it if the average is 4-2 at its most.
So are we seeing the Wild Wild West being tamed a little bit by the points updates? Is that maybe what's driving it, or is it more of everyone knows the boogeyman now and there's plenty of tools that I could just get around it?
Well, I guess the question is, what do we think is a list that might not have clear-cut tools that's available across a lot of lists, right? Like quad phantoms are still a thing. Are there enough answers across all other factions to look at that and be like, I have a solution for this?
Yeah, I mean, I think to me, honestly, quad phantoms is more the boogeyman than trip ups.
I agree.
Trip Ops is going to win. I can definitely see Quad Phantoms having a shot at winning. I really wish that they'd gone up 1 more point, or Juke had gone up 1 more point, at least force them to lose 2 Jukes.
I was actually expecting them to take the Sigmas and just make them 49 or 50 at base and leave Juke mostly alone or go up a point, so that you could still run 4 of them, but you can't run 4 of them with like any amount of Juke.
To be honest, I'm surprised that FFG is not. I know they said they didn't want to errata, but bringing the like multiple unique dot system back compatible into Rebels and Imperials, because that would be great, right? They're like, clearly we're seeing points floors for ships where there shouldn't be, like TIE fighters or TIE interceptors or X-wings where they're locked in at a certain points level to like, so that to prevent X number of ships in a list. And certainly that's something they could do with like Sigmas, right? You put your errata in 2 dots there. All the list builders update. You know, the FFG list builder would be the first update, and then off everyone goes building that way. I think that's an easy fix. That sort of,
maybe
if it's priced right.
Let's address the boogeyman. Is the Quad Sigma list, now that they can only have 3 juke and not 4, is that a big enough change?
No.
Yeah, it's definitely not. We have someone who flies it pretty regularly here, and it's still a force.
Yeah, I mean, it was competitive pre-points balancing, and a lot of stuff that was above it came way down, and losing 1 juke is not really a big deal for it.
Yeah. And I think there's even a chance that one of the other powerful cards in Imperial that didn't get touched, Sloan, as many people might expect that to flourish. I think the ship counts have just increased because you have stuff like Quad Phantom. You have Leia now at a lower cost. You have Drea, who's figuring out other swarm types, and they're generally beefier. They got more health. So ship amounts per squad, you're talking about a lot of the A-Wings from Resistance. Some people are exploring in First Order, like, do SFs need gunner? I could just point my arc in the back and just be a supporting 2 dice front back whenever I want. So,
yes. Sloan also lost her best carrier in losing Whisper, so.
Yeah.
I definitely think we're seeing the meta change to more of a multi-ship meta rather than an 3 ace meta or something like that. Like, you can see the bids getting higher and higher and higher, and the ship counts, and especially that health count. Like, people flying Skurgs and Y-Wings and all these high health, low agility ships, and just putting like 4, 5, or 6 of them on the board.
Well, so to speak to that as well, like, so if we're going to a more like super high level efficiency list, like, I'm not even sure that that the 4 Sigmas are even going to be as strong as they are, because like part of the reason why they were so good is because like they could crush through some 3-ship lists really hard, right? Like I don't know how much damage like that 4 Sigmas are going to really do against like a 5 or 6 ship list, that when they're punching out almost as much dice in a joust.
Yeah, the difficulty I found when I've been working with some Drea beefy swarms, and not just all Y-Wings. I've thrown in Skurg, I've thrown in Trandoshan Slaver with a couple interesting bounty hunter type crew, and my concern, even with 5 ship going up against Quad Phantom, is there's a really high percentage I lose a Y-Wing in turn 1. If a single Y-Wing, one of my 3, 4, 5 are in arc of 4 of their Quad Phantoms. I mean, I probably messed up a little bit, but their average firepower kills a Y-Wing with all their shots, and not even including any range ones.
But if you're flying right, aren't you exchanging properly as well? You have a 180 arc, like if we're talking about Y-Wing specifically.
Yeah, I'm not looking at veteran turret gunner. I'm just looking at arc coverage. So yeah, I'm hoping I exchange well enough to just one of my Y-Wings for a TIE Phantom. So
Phantoms are also so maneuverable that they don't have to engage unless they really feel like they have that advantage to engage.
Yeah. And the whole blocking game is really different for them too, because even if you have a bunch of lower initiative ships, they still have the go-ahead to decloak and almost block your attempted blocks, right? So they could decloak forward on you, stop your engage inward on them, and then slip you out while you don't have any actions or you've bumped into them on their decloak. So
I do agree with you with if you're not taking out a Phantom per Y-Wing or per ship, if you're flying, a 5 or 6 ship list against the Quad Sigmas, you have to take one out. They're going to take one of yours out, but you have to take one. If you don't, then your play style is going to change, because you're not forcing them to change theirs, because they can just cloak, focus, or evade in that corner and just make it a kill box. So you need to break their strategy up, and if you can't do that, then you probably need to rethink your list.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the thing about flying against those is you always have to kind of put your ships into positions that stop or at least make it so their decloaks are in suboptimal positions. But that could be one or two ships that you're putting into those positions that are not getting good shots or not getting optimal shots in the hopes of making it up a round or two later.
Yeah. Preventing a certain set of decloaks so you know where they're going to go is definitely a way to make them more predictable. It's just their ability to slow roll-ish in the beginning, and if they take advantage of correct rock placement, they won't have to deal with many rocks around them, and they'll at least have two avenues of decloaking. So you got to try and, as much as you can, lure them in, but the issue is also the final salvo, is they still have 12 dice.
Yeah, the good Sigma player is not coming to you.
No, he shouldn't. And if he does, yell at him. You're playing that list
after
wrong.
the game. After the game.
After the game. There you go. Give him the old Mark Tippett cricket side, or the Law and Order or whatever. But it's okay. So if it's not quad sigmas and triple ups is kind of maybe leveled out, and the vending list is that's there. Is this the tournament where a new list rises?
There's a high potential chance for it, for sure.
And I guess if I want to say a new list rises, what are we looking at? Maybe potential. What are we foresighting? Paul Heaver-ish, channeling our inner Paul Heaver. What are some scary lists that are out there right now that maybe we should be practicing against?
Practicing is difficult because I think that even within archetypes, I think there's so much room for variation that you might not even know really that well what to fly against, right?
Especially in extended.
Yeah,
because everything is go.
I think because I'll give a good example, like 4-ship Rebel, right? You could have literally any 4 ships in Rebel, and a lot of them will be good, and you can put them in really interesting combinations. And that's probably a really good list, right? Like, you can either make it super survivable, you can make it more offensive, you can make it torp focused, there's just so many combinations, right? And they all have Leia, right?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, is Leia the trick card? Is Leia your pocket in the or ace in the pocket or whatever they want to call it? 2 points. That's cheap.
It basically makes any Rebel list capable of being defenders for a turn, and that's always really good, right?
So good.
Like, it just gives them access to so many things. Like, for example, the U-Wing, which I already thought was a really good ship, and now they can do the drill stop and take an action, and turn around or turn to the side, and you can set up really interesting kill boxes by just having that one turn where everything does K turns and they're all fine.
The U-Wing can do a 90-degree turn, right?
Yeah.
And put a debris cloud on someone.
Yeah, the stop and drop.
There's also the stop and drop poop of the rig cargo chute.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Leia's going to be she's not something that you can build a squad around, but she's going to give a lot of squads that extra 5 or 10% win ratio, right? Or she's just going to add a little bit of an edge to the Rebels.
She's going to be that critical one turn. I need to do this maneuver, and before I would have been punished by not having actions, but now I will have them. So,
I'm glad that Blair Bunky is not coming to Toronto, because if he can get the squad he did in Glendale to top 8, he'd do wonders with Leia.
Yeah, I built, because I was like, oh, B-Wings went down and there's Leia, and I was like, I made a squad where I was like, man, if Bunky gets a hold of this, I'm gonna be really scared. It's U-Wing with Leia, 3 B-Wings and Blount. Like, that fits. Okay.
Off topic, has Blair Bunky become the boogeyman of X-Wing?
he's always the looming over the horizon with all of his Rebel beef ships ready to pounce on everybody.
That's just because he's tall. I have this theory that tall players are better at X-Wing because they get that.
I'm very tall, and I'm not Very good.
Yeah, I think you got both the Aarons discounting you on this one, Dev.
Done. Maybe it's the Aaron thing. Maybe
all tall people but Aarons.
Because Aaron Bonner's short and he's good. So, he's one. We either have one or the other, or if we have both, we're just trash.
The Aaron height to win ratio is just messed up compared to everyone else.
Oh man. Any other boogie cards out there? I hate using the same word all the time, but what? And it's extended. So you got to look out for Sloane, Leia, Han, all kinds of things. There's so many cards in extended, which is one part why I kind of like extended, but at the same time, it's like, oh my god, what do I take? What do I fly? What do I do?
I'm going to take a moment to plug VTTV Live and the PTL. And I would recommend one of the videos we just uploaded, which is from our top 8. And it's Aaron versus Samit. And Samit, unfortunately, doesn't play very well in this game. But Aaron's list is just pure magic. He's got a K-Wing, he's got Sabine, he's got Leia, he's got a U-Wing, he's got Thane, Kyrell, and he's got... I'm going to forget what the 4th ship is. Is a Y-Wing. And it looks like 4 bad Rebel ships. But he double Sabine Samit, or has the possibility of double Sabining Samit in one round. What? So Samit, no, not Samit. So Sabine doesn't have a once per round limitation, right? So you hit someone with one bomb, you tractor beam it into another bomb, and then you give it an ion token. Right?
Yes.
God damn it, Sabine. Fuck.
Because he's got the Y-Wing dropping bombs and he's got the K-Wing dropping bombs, right? So he actually doesn't do that. He ions a defender so that he can control its movement and wreck it the next turn. Again with bombs.
But the possibility was there.
The possibility was there. I don't actually, talking to him later, I don't think he actually saw it. He was like, oh yeah, I guess I could have done that, but I still wrecked it. Right? I still won. And he makes use of the tractor beam, I think, later. But I think Rebel lists like that, like the Rebel toolbox list, where you can just fit a bunch of useful things into a list. Yeah, I think we've got legs there.
Do they become too situational though?
No, Sabine I think is amazing.
Oh no, not Sabine, but I mean your Rebel toolbox list. They were great in 1.0 because, let's face it, Rebels had some of the best crew out there, and they still do in 2.0. But it's the carriers.
Something like 75% of the ships in the Rebel faction are crew carriers.
Okay.
Right,
yeah, actually, now that I think about it, shit. Yeah, you're right.
Look again at does this have a crew on it? And people are just slapped. They're like, oh, I have to take a U-Wing to slap Leia on it. Well, you could take Rourke still. Shooting at I-7 is still good. You can take Gan still. You don't need to take the title.
That's true.
Right? Adding an extra die is great. So, and you look at mysteriously Lando crew went down in price, which I don't
understand that, especially with.
Yeah. So now you can say coordinate a ship to reinforce, and then Lando to have reinforce, focus evade, stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
U-Wings can do stuff like that. So.
I was just thinking that can only be so many ships in Rebels if you're thinking about coordinating so it has to be either a Ghost or an Ozatuk.
No,
I don't think Ozatuks have coordinates.
No, they have reinforce.
No. I mean, the ship that has reinforce.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
The ship that's also carrying Lando. I'm like, that narrows
you could also
down.
do it with a VCX.
Yeah, the Ghost VCX.
Yeah.
You can put R2-D2 and Lando on Han and get the rerolls for both Lando and R2-D2 whenever you're rolling those for the crew carriers.
Yep, I did that before the points
think
changed.
That's fucking stupid?
Not
anyone else?
No,
I mean, he only gets one action per turn, and most of the time you want to be boosting out of people's arcs. So
honestly, if you want to spend 100+ points on that Han, go ahead.
Yeah,
yeah,
true.
And there's a couple of cheaters. So
there's some argument, and I start like before when I saw Lando get on it too. I'm like, yeah, R2D2 Lando. I was already running that before the points. I'll see how crazy this is now. And I'm like, well, Leia can just help everybody in the most critical situations that I need her. So, and she's also 2 points and helps the rest of my squad. So I think that's actually better.
Yeah, I'm also still. I think there is something with Lando the ship. I don't know what it is, but it feels like there's potential there for that free coordinate every turn.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
good, too.
you're talking about a ship that went down in price in a game where coordinate apparently with squad leader went up in a cost based on initiative value, yet Lando's at I5 in a Falcon that could coordinate himself even, so he can double action. Seems good still.
Can I mention something just kind of, it was a couple of points ago, but about bombs specifically?
Go
Of course you can.
Like I'm somewhat worried about like bomb spam for this open. There was a scum list that was triple Skirgs, and the guy literally had like 15 bomb tokens sitting beside him because he's prepared to like launch like so many bombs out, right? And like I saw it like in the tournament that we were playing, like he dismantled a 3x list, just like tossing bombs in front, tossing bombs behind, tossing bombs on top, like just every turn. It was just nonstop barrage of devices all on the table, right? And the Skirks are now cheap enough that you can just really like super load them, and they can survive long enough that they can actually launch their bombs.
You know, I'm really glad you brought this up because I was practicing with Skirgs. I love the Skirg. I don't know why I never ran Nim Miranda. I never did. I was always like that corner case. I love Jabba, so I ran Jabba and Nim. That's what I ran. But I've been looking at them, and I'm glad you brought up this point because I don't think anyone is talking about that. And it is a big thing because they have the trajectory simulator, and they're cheap enough that you can, like you said, take 3 of them.
Well, trajectory sim can only be given on the ship that takes the Havoc title. There's only one of those titles. So I'm assuming this is like, and
Yes.
Steven, please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm guessing they took a generic Nim and either another generic or Sol Sixa.
Yeah, I think it was either I think it was Nim, a generic, and it might have been Locke actually as a third ship.
Oh, okay.
I'm not 100% sure
For the talent,
but,
yep.
Yeah, but they had a lot of stuff.
Well, I'm just saying that between Nim, Sixa, and a generic with trajectory, you can put those bombs pretty much wherever you want.
Yeah. Well, and because of Nim, like he just decides one doesn't go off, right? So
Yep.
like so what his setup was that he put 3 asteroids like somewhere in the middle. They trajectory sim the bomb into the center and then ran away and just left it there. So and that was a seismic, right? So like those 3 rocks are now like a no-fly zone, and
oh man!
And then he flies his game. He just plays his game the rest of the day, right? And
I don't need to stop any other bomb. Just this one bomb on any of these 3 asteroids.
I got it. I'm fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they do. I'm sorry, but the Skirgs are a 3 out the front and a 2 out the side.
Yes.
They're a 180 medium base. They're
and
it's
they have
a good ship.
They have a
lot of health.
Soul with Bombardier is also extremely underrated, I think, as a bombing ship. Like people don't expect it, but you can't go anywhere near the back of that ship.
Yeah, Sol Sixa with just skill Bombardier, I may be more dangerous than Iman because you have to spend a lot more points to get Iman to get that crazy.
Well, like in a proximity mine situation, where like you just is it too hard, right? You can do too hard.
Yeah,
with that?
You can do too hard.
Like you can just hit ships that like are like nowhere near you because the prox mine is also gigantic.
Yeah. And I've seen just a prox mine scare the crap out of me on just a TIE bomber that has the 1 bank, let alone the 1 turn, the 2 bank, the 2 straight, like with skill bombardier on Sol Sixa.
I'm gonna cut in here a quick second because this is hilarious. I played a game this weekend. I listened to Chris Allen, and why I did, I don't know. But I ran the quad SFs, gunner, and I took advanced optics because it was easy to figure out. I had a friend of mine play Decimator loaded with Vader. This Decimator had a proximity mine. All right, that's cool. He dropped it turn 2. I killed the Decimator turn 3, and I had to fuck around with a goddamn proximity mine the entire game. Yeah. Lost me the game. It literally lost me the game.
People can severely underrate just a prox mine location. Like, it doesn't have to drop on someone if it close. So I saw this. It was I think it was PAX. So the system opened before the points. It was Andrew Knuckles, and he was on Gold Squad, I think, round 4. And the opponent he went up against had 2 Jakkus and Jostero going up kind of like on a middle diagonal, and Boba kind of making his way around. And he closed off an escape lane using the proximity mine on Boba, and Boba closed in with the Jakkus and Jostero from another angle, and he didn't have a solid escape route. So
it's an underused. And Steven, I'm sorry, that was brilliant what you brought up. The bombs now might be the scariest fucking thing out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I might ask Evan, there's a locally at least famous video of him versus one of my other judges this weekend, Cam Murray, where he just dodged every bomb in existence. But like, do you have any tips on how to handle bombs maybe in 2.0?
To be fair, I think the famous video you're talking about, I dodged the bombs by rolling blanks on all my dice.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, but do you have
That's not dodging. That's not dodging.
Listen, fine. Just I guess Evan's tip is roll blanks. But do you have any like bomb avoiding tips other than roll blanks?
I mean, my honest feeling is I'm not that worried about the bomb meta. Trajectory simulator going up so much really takes it, I think, out of competition for the most part. I mean, you're going to see it on Venny. But outside of that, I don't think you'll see a lot of it. And without trajectory simulator, I don't think it's that hard. You just have to make sure you're thinking about every turn. Like, I think what gets people is that turn you get greedy and you forget about the bomb.
Yeah.
But, and also I'm saying this from the perspective of someone who plays mostly high initiative aces. So I get to make all my decisions with perfect information. So it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
Speaking of high initiative aces, so I think there's some legs to people looking at Boba Fett, seeing Slave 1 go down in price. Comboing Slave 1's ability to change your angle and where you're going on top of Prox Mine. I mean, if you go the opposite direction, you're essentially laying the Prox Mine, I think, in the same spot, but it's giving you another option and better chance, I think, to set up a Prox Mine if you want to lose an ace that could dodge around Boba trying to chase him down.
Yeah, and Boba also has the boost, so he can get himself, like, combined with Slave 1, he can get himself into good places to drop that bomb.
Yeah.
So there's something there. I mean, you're running it at I5, and I think there's a lot of I6 out there right now. I mean, we'll see with probably a switch to more generics anyway with this current balance change.
Mm-hmm. Quick around the horn. Is Boba maybe a dark horse in the Toronto System Open?
It's tough to figure out Boba in an extended manner. I think in definitely hyperspace, he's still a force for Scum, but there's a lot in Scum in an extended.
I think he's just good. I mean, I don't think he's like something like, I'm not thinking about Boba when I'm putting my lists together. I'm like, yeah, he exists there, and I like, but just so does Whisper, so does Luke, so does Wedge. Like, they're all good ships that exist. So, you do have to plan in so much that you have to plan against decent ships.
Yeah.
I know in extended, certainly the guys are talking about today that, Boba's got legs if you have Perceptive Copilot or IGD and a coordinate carrier behind. You can still reinforce, double mod, and sort of like push forwards and get your rerolls and sort of get what you need to do to be where you need to be to kill stuff. But you're leaning a lot harder on that third ship now, right?
Yeah, and I was looking at it earlier today, and I think there may be legs to even kind of, because in hyperspace and generally Boba for a while was Boba, Fen, and an escape craft need to coordinate Boba. If we can find a way to get off the coordinate train, Boba with either IG-88D crew, which will still force him to take an action, but it's a more flexible focus because it's 2 calculates, or Maul went down a few points. He's 11. It's 3 more points than Perceptive Copilot, and you don't have to take the action for him. It's a force charge. And even after you suffer damage, if you really need that force charge again, you can just gain a stress token to recover that force charge. So you can have 2 force charges a turn. That seems solid. It's a larger points investment, but it's passively helping you out instead of needing that whole feeling of action-starved Boba requiring an escape craft.
And I mean, that's still cheaper than Marauder Han now, right?
Yeah. I mean, Han by himself is 12 points. Yeah. Maul crew, which you don't even need to take the Marauder title to get Gunner on there, is just 11.
Yeah, but also just suffers from everything else around him getting worse. Quad jumpers figured in almost every scum list, and they're up 4 points each. Any of the Cavill builds usually built around Han. 4-Lom's up a little. Like, I think that scum in general, just everything got hit. Not hard, but everything got hit.
Yeah. I think what didn't get hit, and I think what a lot of people are looking at, is what can I build around Drea this time? Y-Wings got cheaper. Skirgs got a little cheaper and added Gunner. So that's, I think, an evolution of Drea Swarm.
Yeah, certainly. And Veteran Turret Gunner makes Y-Wings interesting and works on the Skirg too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. I think what I'm going to do is we're going to maybe end our list talking a little bit. I just want to go around the horn, especially you guys that are going to be there. What are you looking forward to? Doesn't need to be list. Doesn't need to be this. What are you looking forward to for the Toronto System Open? Because this is big, guys. This is huge for Canada and for Toronto and everything. I just want to know what does this mean to you guys? What are you looking forward to? What's your giddy moment? What are you really psyched up for? We're gonna start off with Aaron. Sorry, he's my favorite. So.
I mean, look, to be able to host a System Open, it's kind of like hosting the Olympics a little bit. It's like everyone gets to come to you, and you could be I get people staying at my house from out of town, right? That's awesome. To be able to do that. And on a more personal level, when you do these big tournaments and by the end of day Sunday, you're just so exhausted and you don't want to see X-Wing for a week, but you're so happy. I love that feeling.
I know that feeling so well.
Yeah.
I think we all do. That is you get done with Worlds and you're like, I don't want to fucking see a dice or anything. Don't even talk to me about X-Wing for a week.
I'm taking one Tuesday off, but then I'll be back the Tuesday afterwards. Right?
Damn it, was it fun. We'll go to Steven. Steven, what are you looking forward to? Toronto System Open.
Yeah, so there's so you know how much I like memeing for Yasby. And so there will be an opportunity to do more memeing because I think this is public knowledge now, I guess, because Ryan kind of spoiled it already. But D is coming to Toronto.
Yes.
So we are trying to figure out how to meme harder and do more Yasby versus D on stuff.
Awesome.
So that's what I'm excited for because
I'm hoping that D brings his original OG OCX shirt along with him.
Well, I don't know what he's. I don't know what he's gonna wear.
He owns one of the very first OCX Aces shirts ever printed, and he always likes to wear it when he's judging. And he never judges at an event that I'm at, which is shit. But whatever. No, if you ever listen to us, we love shitting on D. So. Anything I can do to help that out, just send me any ideas. We'll try to facilitate that. But yeah, you got a fucking grade A list X-wing player, or I don't know about X-wing player, but
I don't know about grade A either.
Oh snap! He's like that B movie star that like got into an NBC star hit. He's like the CSI of X-wing. That's what he is. He's
got a great personality.
Oh my god, Jesus! Trying to talk to D is like trying to talk to a paint wall drawing. Love you, D. Just kidding.
But yes, more memes. That's what I want. I'm
more memes. All right, so we need some D-Yoon memes. Devin.
Evan.
Devin.
Oh, Devin and Evan. Oh,
Instead, Devin. God, I'm not talking. I haven't talked cursive in a long time. Right. I've done very well on the show for the last 2 months, 3 months, whatever. I should win a fucking Goldie just for that, Dion. Devin, you are the marshal for this event. So, actually, you know what? Hold on. Pump the brakes. Because you're the marshal, I'm going to save you for last. Evan.
I was right all along.
What do you got? Pinnacle, baby. What do you got for Toronto?
I'm looking forward to getting drunk on Saturday night and not having to worry about Go 5-1 anymore. But really,
living the OCX lifestyle. Woohoo!
Are you sure your name isn't Aaron? Because you could vie for #1 Aaron in Canada.
Hey.
He's encroaching on his territory.
No takesies backsies.
Like you literally just said everything that I love to hear about an X-Wing tournament. That's if I could facilitate a tailgate at the Toronto Open, that would be. I maybe could. I don't know.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the tournament's kind of in the middle of nowhere, Toronto, so not the best look for it. But
that's the perfect place to have a keg. Just randomly show up.
Yeah, but honestly, also like you know what, I'm really excited for this weekend. It'll be, with the points change and this being the first big tournament, it'll be a really interesting meta, and hopefully my list isn't a terrible call for it. But either way.
Well, I'm loving the attitude. I really am. That's where your head should be at. Beer first, X-Wing second. Devin, let's talk Marshall. I'm sure you got to be going out of your mind right now.
A little bit. I've been getting shit from people about one of the rulings sort of over the last couple of hours. If you see me looking at my phone,
I have.
And also from one of the members in on the podcast today. I'm not going to name names.
Show right now. Oh, come on, call him out. It'd be
rat him out.
Yeah.
But no,
okay, I'll expose myself. It was me. I'm the one who did it.
I had an odd feeling. I was like, it's probably Steven.
I'm like, I know it's Steven. Everybody knows it's Steven.
His odd love affair with Poe. But no, I'm really looking forward to just having everyone in town, sort of just echoing what everyone else has said. I've organized, we got 2 socials because we had a bunch of people coming to town, and they were just like, what's going on Friday? And it's like, all right, here's a pub within a 5-minute drive of the venue. Like, we're going to get together there. We're going to try and convince them to let us play X-Wing, and we're going to buy a bunch of beer. And then doing something on the same place on Saturday, because trying to add a little bit of information and formality to the informal get-togethers, just so that everyone feels welcome, everyone can come along. And then, yeah, I mean, it's an open secret that there's always booze on the PTL bus. But we always obey the rules of the venues, and yeah, I'm looking forward to. I was looking forward to casting and playing my TIE Swarm in the extended or in the Hyperspace Cup, but unfortunately, I'm Marshall instead. I was informed 4 days ago that there were no judging staff, and I offered to be judge, and then went on vacation to Montreal for 4 days.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Jesus.
Holy shit.
So they were like, it's yours if you want to. Otherwise, the organizers who haven't played a single game of 2.0 are going to judge. And I'm like, well, at least I've played the game.
Oh, man.
I'm not going to put that on Cascade. The guys on the ground are doing the best they can to sort of scrounge up people. But certainly a lot of the players here would rather play. So it's been tough for them to find bodies to fill seats. So
tell you what, I'll entice the pot. I will give permission for you to go to any one of your players.
Yeah.
They will get an OCX 2.0 template set and a large OCX shirt if they help judge.
Oh, well, luckily I've got a judging team I've got together, so we've got 4 people.
Okay. Voided.
I mean, like, I'll take it, and we can we'll give them out as league prizes. I mean, I'd love it, to be honest. But
you send me your address. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do. Because the last 2 Canadian nationals I did with 2 staff, me and one other person, and we were pretty good, sitting around 120, 125 people with 2 judges. And I've rustled up 3 extra guys, so we've got 4 for about 130 to 150. So I think we'll be okay.
You know, D-Un's not going to go past second round, so there's another judge right there.
Sure, but I'm not going to pay him.
No, you don't have to pay him. Does anybody actually give money to D-Un? If you do, don't. Stop.
I think there's an absurd amount of people that give money to.
I was going to say there's something called a Patreon that they have.
It's a conglomerate. They're not actually giving it to DU.
I'm pretty sure all that money is the people are giving it for Ryan, not for D.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's how you can get away with buying plane tickets.
Actually, I think they're all giving it to Steven, or they should be giving it to Andrew. Seeley. They should be giving it to Seeley. Well, is what they should be.
Didn't they say Seeley's got the keys to the purse? He's control all the spending.
Yeah, I think he's there, Montana.
It's just like Montana. I can't fucking withdraw shit. I have to literally beg and plead in order to get some money out of him.
So I'm looking forward. I was looking forward to casting and to playing, and no one else on the cast has spilled what their list was. I think except for Steven. We've talked about his love for Poe. But I was going to fly.
Whoa!
No. He's marshalling.
You're marshalling.
I'm marshalling.
Flying shit.
Yeah. So this is what I was going to fly in the hyperspace. It was Hellrunner, Iden Verso, Delmico, 2 academies, and Countdown with like 0 upgrades.
Oh, Countdown.
I like that.
Yeah.
Little Inferno Squadron / some. I like it. Okay.
Was like I took a Wave Champs a week ago with it. No, a store championship up at 401 Vaughn, and then I'm something like 8-0, 8-1. So I was like, yeah, I'll like go 4-2 and get my hopes crushed.
Well, I would just like to announce that everyone that the chat has officially said that I am a Canadian national treasure. So you all have to deal with that now.
I mean, you're probably
the Empire flight can go, and a Canadian flight can go right there.
See, if you send me your address, we can work something out.
I think a shirt for a flag would be a good, or maybe. What size are you? Let's not do that. Nah, let's not. We'll talk.
I'm a large. I'm a large.
Talk. You're large? I can do it. Shirt for a flag.
Yeah, we can do something. We can set something up.
Or what about a shirt for a PTL shirt, Coach? You don't have one of those, do you?
Well, see, I get those given to me. I don't pay for shirts. If you want free advertising, I don't pay for it.
We can do a shirt for a shirt. I think I got one lying around somewhere.
All right, shirt for shirt. We can do that. I think we might.
I got one last thing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot.
I want each of your bold predictions for Toronto. It doesn't have to be directly related to X-Wing, but I'm assuming most predictions are based on results of X-Wing, whether it's something like this faction's going to do bad, this faction's going to suck, this pilot's going to do great, this pilot, anything like that, or even like this person's going to down the most beers.
That's Tim.
I need to send an OCX t-shirt to him.
But yeah, each of yours own bold predictions of anything based upon that Toronto System Open.
Let's start with Evan.
Oh God.
Yep. On the spot.
Every Rebel list that has or that makes the top 32 or whatever it ends up being will have Leia on it.
Okay. Steven.
Yeah, I can see that.
Evan's gonna make the cut, but he's gonna lose round 1.
Oh.
So he won't get to drink because he'll actually have to prepare for Sunday. And I'm pretty sure that because like always the worst case scenario always happens to Evan. So since he wants to drink, it's not going to happen.
Hey, the PTL has a hotel room in the hotel so that anybody who gets too schmammered the night before, gets a little too dickered, can crash in the hotel room.
I love the fact that Evan, you're a good enough pilot for Steven to say that you'll make the cut, and 2, you're a good enough drinker that you don't want to make the cut.
I can't say I'm comfortable with the cut, but Steven is definitely right that if I do make the cut, I'm losing in the first round.
That's the worst because then you don't get your Worlds ticket.
I know.
So don't do that.
That's some bad juju, Steven. Why'd you do that?
Hey,
Bad, Steven. Bad.
I just want to be historically correct.
You know what? I can't blame him for that. I can't. Predictions are predictions. Let's go on over to my favorite Canadian, Aaron Dater. Aaron Dater.
Yeah, so I think that Steven and Dee are going to play each other. Steven's going to win, and Dee's going to blame it on his dice.
Oh.
Holy shit.
You're spoiling the beef.
That needs to be streamed. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
If you need... Marshall, if you need to bring the entire thing to a halt and move them to the stream table.
I help Victor and Travis pick the matchings, the pairings, then what goes on stream. And if Dee plays well enough that he actually gets to play Steven and not just like
his dice doesn't
end up in the salt earlier.
They can always get the rainbow pairing, you know.
Man, I could just see the live chat from Twitch. Oh look, Dee didn't bring his fancy dice.
It's 130 to 150 people. I like those odds.
That needs to happen.
Don't tell me the odds.
That needs to happen. Steven, if you got to throw a game or two,
right,
it needs to happen.
I'll slip Steve a $100 bill so that they get paired first round.
Probably be the most watched X-Wing game ever. Oh man, Devin, saving you for last again.
I think Aaron D's list is so degenerate it's going to be the next 230 point list in July.
Oh.
Ooh.
I'll have to keep my eye on List Fortress. For that.
Now he preluded to what that list was, I believe.
No, he should.
No, I did not.
No, Devin did, didn't he?
Oh, I don't know.
No.
Okay. All right.
No.
Never mind then.
You'll be able to find me 2 or 3 people outside of the top cut where I usually am.
Yeah, right. You got the power of the Aarons behind you. You have Aaron. You have Coach energy and Bonner energy behind you.
Wait, here's the key. How tall are you?
6'4", pretty tall.
Oh, too tall for an Aaron.
Done.
There's no such thing as too tall.
I'm going to have Aaron Bonner message you personally and say I am sending my energy to you, and then it's sky's the limit.
All right, I'll harness it in the best possible way.
Bonner's gonna go, what the fuck am I doing? Just fill your socks with mayonnaise and just write it. Just do it.
That's been a long time.
I know. I had to slip that one in there. Just you know. Nobody knows what we're talking about. So that's
just like a cold hot dog, right?
Just like a cold hot dog. Oh boy. Let's see. We're gonna move this on over to shout outs, guys. Shower the praise upon the people who need it.
I want to praise Steven for something because you guys don't know this about him. He also designs the alt arts for the Prototype Toronto League.
Oh.
And so I'm going to say we're going to be giving out.
Jealous. And
let's see. I'm gonna grab a few of these. We're going to be giving a couple of these out on.
He just showed a. Oh no! You know what? You must be live to know this. Suck it.
Yeah, be live, people. Listen live.
Let's
present you. Yeah, we got to present you. We're gonna show these all over again.
Okay. So, PTL members are going to be giving out some Iden Versios.
Don't spoil the names they were just talking about.
No, that's fine. The art is
so see, I can tell Steven took time on that one.
Yeah, and then we've got this is the first one I spoiled here. This is Steven's.
I can attest they all look amazing. Every alt art Steven's done looks amazing in person.
Oh, that's a good one.
Shit, that's a good one.
And then we've got I've got lots of leftovers from the Prototype Toronto League Open, and so we've got we've got some afterburners here. Oh no, that's Black One again. What am I doing?
Your price for shirt just went up a little bit.
Oh, am I throwing in a few of these? Am I?
That's all right. I got.
Oh, okay.
That's all right. I got some cards to send your way as well.
So
how are those getting to Adepticon?
Through me. Shh. Quiet.
Okay. Well, maybe I should come to Adepticon and
maybe you should come to Adepticon. I've got air mattress space. If you deem yourself worthy to stay at the OCX house,
the OCX Airbnb house,
you are more than welcome. Just gonna say, don't plan on sleeping a lot, or plan on having traffic cones show up in front of your door every night.
Jeez.
So the big shout out I have, other than to Steven, just to pump him up a little bit more with those beautiful cards, is check out VTTV Live. Like the community puts a lot of effort into it. Victor and Travis put insane amounts of work into it, and I'm biased, but I think it's some of the best X-Men content, probably some of the best Fantasy Flight Games content. They do everything, so please check them out.
Well, I can tell you right now, as a guy who knows a little bit about the OCX community, we're probably going to plug the shit out of you guys. So just like we did for Australia, you know what? You guys are closer. I think we can do some work for you too. So
shipping charges aren't as bad.
They're not that bad. Hey, it's only 2 stamps to Canada.
I can tell you haven't looked at the shipping charges yet.
Mm-hmm. Well, Coach has looked at the Australian ones.
Fuck me. Australia's expensive, and we have a lot of fans in Australia. God bless all of you, but shit, it costs a lot of money to send shit out your way. But I wouldn't have it any other way. No, we have tons of fans in Canada. I think we got 5 or 6 Patreons from Canada, so.
I thought you were going to say you had 5 or 6 downloads because that's
no.
third of the country.
Well, maybe. I don't know. I've never seen the Patreon per download rate. I feel sad, but whatever. Let's move on to Steven. Or did we already do Steven? No, we haven't done Steven.
I was the only shout out so far.
Do I have shout outs? I don't think so. I mean, everyone already uses Yasby, right?
We do anti shout outs. Also.
Anti
if you wish to do beef, go ahead.
It's okay. Everybody knows who my beefs are with already. I think just like if you're on the fence about coming to System Open, I would really like to see you there. Please come to System Open. That's how you can show your support for Yasby. Honestly, come to the thing. Come say hi to me. Come take a recorded message of how much you hate DU, and that I will be recording out throughout the weekend.
It was just pointed out to me that we wanted to make a Uncle Mark soundboard app, and gee whiz, apparently we have an app maker on the show.
Yes, that is true.
How hard would it be to make an Uncle Mark soundboard app?
I hate that question. How hard could it be? That's how you know I'm an actual app maker.
Yeah, he's probably right.
All right, we'll talk later. Like maybe we'll throw some money your way. So
okay,
make it worth your while. Montana's killing me right now. He's just like, shut the fuck up, coach. My favorite Canadian. Oh, did I go? No, Evan. Sorry, Evan.
All good. I guess give a shout out to our fearless leader, Devin, for all the work he does in the league is amazing, and giving up his chance to play this weekend to Marshall is awesome.
Selfless acts of marshals and judges.
It really is, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Devin, before we get on to my favorite Canadian, do you get thank you? I mean, is the job worth it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I get the feeling sometimes that I do things because it seems like no one else wants to or would. But these are things that I want to see happen in the community and that I want to exist. And I feel that other people, I enjoy watching other people use them and enjoy them. And like, I feel my life and other people's lives would be diminished by not having, these communities about. And I'm lucky that I have a job that affords me enough time that I can devote a little bit of it to making the PTL and the X-Wing community, a little bit better here in Toronto. And I try my best. And if anyone wants to help out, you're more than welcome.
Do you approve of the Chris Chico Brown tactic of berating all of the beloved podcasters that are going to these events and saying that you can either stop them or you can prevent them from winning or you can do this? I feel like Chico Brown is out there starting a smear campaign against all of us beloved podcast hosts, and that if you became a judge and you signed up at Cascade Games, you can effectively stop me from doing what I will never able to. I'm never going to be able to win anything anyway, but you'll be able to tell me no.
I can't tell you no. I could DQ you.
All right.
I haven't had the chance to. I would love to DQ someone.
Well, you sign up for Worlds, and when I win my Worlds ticket at Adepticon, you can tell me no.
I don't know.
You know what's sad is that might actually happen, and then you are all fucked.
I've said no to the Howards or to,
but nobody cares about them. They don't.
Sure.
They don't have a podcast.
I've said no to.
They're not beloved.
God, I'm forgetting his name, and that's probably fine. I've said no to some big Americans that have come up. Certainly, some of them have been convincing in their arguments, and it's like, all right, well, the judges go away, and we have a little chat, and we talk about what they, what they're trying to do, and it's like, well, rules is written, that's allowed, and that's, you look at the other rulings, and you try to do your best, and really, my main goal is that the rules be applied fairly, and I'm willing to bend them enough so that everyone has a good experience. Whether that's giving someone extra 5 minutes if they've forgotten their entire list at home or they don't have a ship or what have you. I'm not here to be, like a fascist tyrant, getting off on power. I'm here to, everyone's come to a tournament to play games and to have a good time. Right. And, canceling a game, as I had to do at the last Canadian Nationals, and say, I'm sorry, it's a game loss. Both, the player understood, but it's you want to give everyone a chance to play and to have their best day. So
well, I'm glad that you said that, because I mean, and I'm also glad that Chico is not going to be judging anymore. He's getting out of that game because he was a fascist tyrant. He was terrible. I
mean, we need those.
No, we don't need any more Chicos. He's just a terrible human being, and we'll just get over. I mean, it's fine. And end of sentence.
I need someone to tell me where my boundaries need to be, right? Like what can I budge on and what can't I budge on, right? Like where can I fudge and where can't I fudge? And certainly for me, I want to keep the pace of the game moving. Certainly if you think if you are in any way aware of the Harpoon incident, it's like at the beginning of the tournament we said we are not recreating a game state in a previous turn, and that
you can't do that. You can't do that. You just can't.
You can't, right? So many decisions have been made, even if it's early into the next turn. You've made so many. Like the game state has moved on, right? So you make the call you can, and you move on. And certainly, that's something I've been talking about for 2 years. The first thing I do when I stand up in front of the Nationals crowd is it's like, if you have an issue, and Ian Hemp, who I have unending respect for, talked about this just recently on Minox, where he's like, and it's something I've been saying for 2 years, where it's like, if you, for any reason, if there's any misunderstanding, come get an impartial judge, call out judge, have someone come over and be like, no, this is the way it is. And then it's neither of you's fault. Someone isn't forcing their will on the other player, right? It's the judge, the impartial judge comes over, tells you the rules, and play continues. And that's extremely important. And I've had players come up to me afterwards and say, I was bullied through a game, and I literally had an Iraqi veteran in tears because they were bullied so badly by a player. And I'm like, and I'd been to their table twice. I'm like, well, next time you got to talk to me. Next time you got to tell me what's going on, and then I can do something about it. I mean, I can't do something about it a round later. I got to see it. You got to tell me about it, and then you can rectify it. No one comes to play 12 hours of X-Wing to have a bad time, right? And if you're having a bad time, if your opponent is breaking the rules by being a bad sport, then you need to talk to a judge. Don't wait for a rules infraction, right?
Leave it to a marshal to take my petty diss to Chico, to turn that into a learning moment.
Sure. I mean,
love you, David. Love it. That was great, because it needed to be said. It needed to be said again.
And we're coming up in a big tournament, and we're ramping up into hyperspace trial seasons. Everyone's going to be going.
It's going to get crazy.
It's going to get crazy. We've got more system opens. We got Adepticon coming. Mm-hmm. I have infinite respect for guys like Brent Wong who travel all over the U.S.
No, don't say that. I know Brent.
Yeah, I'm trying to convince him to come to Canada. The free healthcare thing is very appealing.
I love you, Brent. He doesn't listen anyway. All right, Devin, you're cut off. Sorry, you talk too much.
I do.
I'm hosting the shit out of this. My favorite Canadian is going to talk now, and what his shout out's going to be, buddy. Aaron.
I don't have much to shout out. I mean, Devin said it better than I ever could. VT, TV, and PTL. No, there's no stealing thunder. It's just that's it. That's he did the first half of the show was promoting how great it is.
You will crush all opponents.
Sure, but I'm Canadian, Aaron, so I care about having fun.
That's fine. Aaron Bonner's from Nebraska. We don't hold it against him.
No one's like a lot. Nebraska. Don't lie to me. There's only like 55,000 people in the entire state.
Nebraska's basically Canada. Like it's I'm just gonna put
true.
that
There's
out
only
right
55,000 people in the entire country. So
oh, Aaron, I love you. He doesn't listen either. So I can say all this shit and I have no repercussions. So whatever. Tomsky, you got any shout outs, buddy?
I'd like to thank this entire group of people who came on as guests today.
Were they not fun or what?
I know, it's great. And
I like Canada.
So thank you guys for all coming. I'd like to thank big shout out to Eric Z, who connected me to Devin Monkhouse, who then put together this giant group of people in just like a Facebook Messenger chat that I was not expecting at all. And it was just me and a bunch of Canadians talking about trying to organize.
Wait, what's the name of it again?
Oh, there's no name to it.
Canada plus on Topsky.
I mean, that's what it was to me. So, no, you guys were awesome, and we love having any of you guys on again in the future. I think Devin has already kind of hoped that at some point after the system open, maybe we could get the actual Travis and Victor from VTTV on.
Yeah, they were really sort of frustrated that it didn't work out tonight, and they'd love to come on if you'll have them.
We will find a time for them in the future.
We'll check our schedule. Okay. So before my shout outs, we're gonna do the happy birthday song.
Oh jeez.
Because it's somebody's birthday.
It's not my birthday anymore where I live.
Fuck off, it is where I live. So, uno, dos, tres, cuatro. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear Ryan.
Dear Ryan, happy birthday to you.
Thank you, Aaron from Canada. From
You.
Jesus, Coach, you're so far behind.
I don't care.
It's the same thing that happened last time. Anytime you try and say it over the internet, there's always that lag behind for everyone. It just progressively gets slower.
I don't care.
I might have been intentionally doing it slower.
I definitely was.
It wasn't me. I sang the normal way. I learned from last time. So it's everyone else's fault. I don't care. Shout outs. I'm going to give a shout out once again to all my Canadian cast, including Timbo. I want to thank him, especially all you guys. This was great. This was one of the best shows I think we've ever done, especially pre-system open. I think we got a lot of good information out there. It's fantastic. I amaze myself on how well I'm hosting these days on without hard alcohol. It's just fantastic. The shows are just great.
Oh, what do you know? When you have more brain power, you can do more.
I think I just shout outed myself.
Self 5-5. Way to go.
I mean, technically it's a shout out to Gordon, but you know, fuck Gordon. So I love you. I'm just kidding. He knows that and everything. Another shout out is to everybody who's going to the Toronto System Open. I don't think those people who are going realize how big this is for Toronto. This is like the guy said, it's huge. It's gigantic. It's like their own hosting a mini worlds kind of a thing. So treat everyone well. Have a good time. Call a judge when you need to, but guys, even if a judge call doesn't go your way, thank your judge. I mean, geez, I hate saying this, but it just needs to happen. It's part of courtesy. Wear deodorant and thank your judge.
And drink beer.
And drink beer and be merry. It's a fucking X-Wing tournament. It's supposed to be fun.
You can be drunk at the tournament, but if we catch you, we throw you out. And if you get too drunk, we throw you out. So
then they're not hiding it very well.
Drink responsibly. There we go.
Yeah. As I down my last Labatt Blue.
If you behave poorly, everybody loses that right.
Yes.
Just don't be a dick.
Yeah.
I think that's shout out to Chris Chico Brown. Did he show up during the commercial break? Well, fuck you then. Shout out to D Yoon. Go stomp some Canadian ass up there, buddy. Do it for America.
Wait, what just happened? I thought we were the verse on this one.
Just pull the rug underneath the entire state, the entire country of Canada.
Top 10 anime betrayals.
Oh, perfect. But that's about all the shout outs other than our wonderful producer, Montana. I can never thank him enough. Shout out to everybody who's going to Adepticon. You will see a lot of us. OCX is going to be probably in full force. Hopefully we'll have the cardboard cutout of Montana. And we're just going to set up in a corner and take a picture with it. It'll be $5 a picture. Just letting you know. So before we wrap up the show, we usually do the Yub Nub, but before I want to get this out in the open, in the public to everyone. It's kind of a sad day. A very beloved co-host is retiring as well. I thought he was going to be on to do this himself, but it doesn't sound like it. So Kyle the Sloot Stoos is retiring from the OCX podcast. I'm going to let that sink in a little bit. It sucks. He was basically my partner in crime. He always brought up the rear like a champ. But things are going on. It's life in general, guys. We all know what happens. Things happen. Stuff gets crazy. And sometimes you just got to step away for a little bit. I don't think it's indefinite. I think it's just temporary, maybe a little bit. But have a drink, have a shot, which is where I'm getting to the Gordon rule here soon, if nobody else knows. I'm going to have a shot in honor of probably one of the greatest co-hosts I've ever had on this show. He started it. He made me get into this. If anyone wants to blame me for being on the airwaves for this long, you can blame Kyle the Sloot Stoos. He's still one of my best friends that I could ever ask for. He still is. And we're going to miss him a lot. But Kyle's stepping away from the show to figure some stuff out. And hopefully, I don't know, maybe in the future he'll be back. But as of right now, he's no longer on the show as a regular co-host, which isn't any surprise. He hasn't been on for a while. But if everyone has a beer or a shot or whatever, if it was Fireball, it would be more pertaining. But all I have is this beautiful 114 Old Granddad. And I'm going to give out, I don't do this very often, but this is the OCX. That's not the OCX. It's my salute to one of the best guys in the world. And if you've ever met Kyle, you know. And if you've never met Kyle, you know him through the show. Go to Adepticon or Gen Con. I think he's still going to Gen Con too. So raise your glasses to a fine OCX patriot, one of the founding members, guys. He was there from the beginning, and he will live on in infamy in X-Wing history. So here's to wars and revolutions. Here's to whores and prostitution. Here's the good old bulls that keep on bucking. And here's the good old gals that keep on fucking. L'chaim. Woo!
Yub Nub?
That burns a little bit. I think that's time for a good old-fashioned Yub Nub.
Yub Nub.
Yub Nub. Oh man, I'm awake now.
This is now the shit show. Anyone who wishes to stay and still talk randomly, feel free. Anyone who wishes to go to sleep may go to sleep.
8.
Oh, this is the best part then.
Yeah. You guys really were on kind of a shitty end of the show, but you know what happens. Whatever. Mm-hmm. I'm just waiting till the day when Ryan Ontopsky has to announce my leave from the show.
Oh, don't even start. I won't know what to do.
Don't worry. I ain't going anywhere.
I pity whoever is editing this, if editing occurs.
Oh, fuck. He edits 3 spots. I tell him when we start.
You're right in 3 timestamps.
When the commercial goes out, when the commercial comes in, and when we do the yub-dub. And that's it. And I give him far too much credit.
Anything there is there.
But you know what? He does it, and I don't. Therefore, he earns so much respect.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. I got to work in 5 hours, so I gotta...
Good reason.
Evan, you're a hero.
Evan, seriously, thank you so much for being on the show. I wanted to let all of you know that now that you have been on the show, you are on the list. So,
what is the list? Do I dare ask?
The list is when we are short of guests, we go down the list.
Okay, all right.
So, expect a phone call or a Facebook message or something, because this is not going to be the last time you guys are going to be on the show. So, you guys knocked it out of the park. I'm floored by every time we ask, like, especially people we don't know. I don't know. I didn't know you guys from Adam until tonight.
I feel like we're really close now, though.
Yeah, you and me, buddy. Hey, you joined a club that's very exclusive, so oh my god, I'm actually going to start a chat of the aliens. No, it it reflects upon the community on how, even if you're from this track of life, you're from this track of life, I'm from this track of life, you come together in one spot and everything flows together, and that's basically what OCX is. We try to pull people in that don't normally get their voices pulled, and it's just a fantastic show every single night. So I want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. That it was great. It was awesome. I hope you all have immense success at the Toronto. So
thank you very much.
Thank you so much,
Evan. You have a good night.
Will do. Now see if I can go to bed without waking my wife up and pissing her off.
Yeah, don't do that.
The eternal struggle.
Hence the reason I podcast at the store. Nobody cares what I say here. So you have a good night, buddy. Thank you for being on the show. Good luck.
See ya.
I'm off to. Have a good night, guys.
Aaron?
Thanks again. That much appreciated. It was a lot of fun.
I'm glad you had a lot of fun. We will be in contact sooner than later. So
all right. Sounds good.
Just know you can either blame Devin for inviting you into the group chat to be in this tonight, or you can blame yourself for accepting it.
There's enough blame to go around.
I don't think he's blaming anybody. He had a great time.
I just blame Canada.
Okay.
He blame Canada. How did I not say that during this episode? Oh, jeez.
It was in the chat a few times. A couple people were yelling, blame Canada.
That was a fail on my bad.
Yeah, Patrick, blame Canada, Canada.
Oh, if it came from Patrick, I don't.
It's okay. I don't think very many people watch South Park anyways.
Not anymore.
No, who would catch that reference?
Yeah, it's like really, it would date you.
Yeah, well,
Not
we're
me.
all old. So,
Not me. I grew
I'm
up
definitely
in
a
the 90s.
youngin'. That's what's going on here.
Yeah, I feel your pain there, Dev. You're preaching to the choir on that one.
I fucking miss the 90s so much. God.
All right, good night, guys.
Good night.
Aaron.
So yeah, I definitely Steven,
Yes.
we should get you on the show. We've been trying to figure out how we're going to get Andre Lind on the show.
Okay.
But he's in Sweden.
Okay.
And right now it's like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
He said he might be willing to wake up early to be on the show. But I would love to have both you and him on the show at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
I mean, it's sure.
Between Yasby and Launch Bay Next, I mean, you guys are basically keeping us in the know and with a 100 times better outlet for creating squads than anyone knows.
There's also a guy on his forum name is Jim Bob, but he makes a lot of these card browsers, and he's got a couple good things on here that I think he would be.
Yeah, but what am I gonna do with a card browser?
He actually uploads pretty quickly to any article that comes up. He will update his database with a card image or zoomed in card image of stuff that's been revealed. So
You guys don't even understand how important those card databases are, right? So everyone who streams pulls from those card databases, right?
Because they're actual images of the cards.
Yeah. So Dion does it, VTTV Live does it, everybody does it. Right? Like all the points come from Yasby. Like there is this like behind the scenes cabal is the wrong word, but behind the scenes cabal of like these tech savvy guys who have put together like a few pillars that you don't even know the community rests on. Like it's Steven and probably VTTV Live can probably talk about it a little bit more, but it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, we actually are the Illuminati for the X-Men.
It's not the Judge Illuminati.
I knew it was there.
No,
somewhere.
Anyone could be a judge. You have to have like technical know-how to be a part of that Illuminati.
Yeah.
Like,
Coach, the link I put in the Hangouts chat is directly to the card browser that I've used the most that I would like.
Yeah, I can see where we would use that a lot.
There's also people who it's actually because it's much more difficult now to like get everything's card based. A lot of people just print out their lists now. They don't bother getting cards. So I know a bunch of people who take the Yasby links, and there are sites that directly convert them into printable PDFs.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, all right, cool. Here's my list. I printed off. Here we go. I've got all the cards.
So off record / on record. I mean, technically, this is not going to be on the podcast, but we're still broadcasting live on YouTube. Mm-hmm. How hard is Yasby to like update?
Depends. So
I was gonna say the original like crossover was pretty tough, wasn't it?
Yeah. So like there was a huge front loading when we started because like there were no cards. We had to basically create 200 cards from scratch and then do all the new interactions. And Yasby is not tied into any of the existing because basically every other instance where they're like pulling the database and creating the stuff, so Vassal, all those things, they're pulling directly from the API for the official builder. So they're grabbing all that information, but Yasby is like from like old school 2012, like land of coding. So he has his own database. So we have scripts that now pull some of that information out, but we still have to manually add all of the individual things on our side. That being said, I can typically like the updates are done within an hour as long as there's no new mechanics that are being implemented from a squad building perspective.
Sure.
Okay, so even the points update that happened, even though there was a lot of stuff, that didn't take more than an hour or two.
Well, the points update I actually had done in 45 minutes, but it didn't release for like 3 hours because we were just checking everything. Right?
Gotcha. Okay.
And that included programming in initiative-based points.
Oh yeah, the initiative-based stuff for
Yeah. So we had an entirely new way of doing points. So we had to add that code, but then the actual points, like guys, it's just manual labor inputting values, right? You go and you find the thing and you add the number. Like
yeah,
it's not that hard. Like it is a bit of a hassle like to go through, but you just dial in and just do it. Like I don't know. Like I think that it's more difficult when you have like new cards come out. Like for example, I was like struggling for like a week and a half because I'm a terrible programmer on getting the 2.3 dots to work. Right, that's a new thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Like no one's thinking about that, but it's actually a completely new thing in X.
That's tough.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I was stuck on it for a little while, and I needed some help. And we have another guy who's helping out. Like his name is Patrick. He's actually wonderful. He's European.
His last name's not Patrick, is it?
No. No.
Just kidding you.
His
I gotta
parents
take a piss.
don't
I'll
hate
be
him.
right back.
Yeah. But like, so like here's a thing. Spare parts, right?
Oh God.
Spare parts is completely new because it's the first card that checks that has a deployment restriction based off of a an upgrade slot rather than an action, because all the restrictions have been faction based or actions, right? So it's the first one to have a slot, and it's also the first one to check for an unfilled slot.
So you have to have a filled astromech slot and an unfilled mod slot.
Well, you have to have an astromech slot first, and then it has to be filled.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So you have to do two checks, right? So that's new. That's just so we had to create that, right? But you don't think about that. Like I thought I saw it, and I'm like, at first I was like, oh, this is gonna be super easy, and then I was like, oh wait, this is just like doesn't exist yet. Okay. All right. Guess we're making some stuff. But even then, even all that, like all of this is like spoiled. So like I have like months to prepare it. Right?
Yeah. I was just curious how long when new points come out. And we're assuming going forward as time rolls on, the points adjustments will be lesser in the amount that they occur as we move forward, I would think. So the manual labor and I wasn't sure what the manual labor time was for you. That's why I kind of guesstimated like an hour or two.
It sounds like a lot because it's like there's a lot of entries, even in this level, right? Like the last points update, it was like I don't know, like 60 ships or something like that. But like if it takes you 10 seconds a ship to do, is it really going to take you that long to get done in the scheme of things, right? It's like the hardest. And if you're proficient with a keyboard, like if you're really proficient with a keyboard, like you can Control F, type in the first 3 letters, get to the ship's name. Use your mouse macro control like from playing video games to like get to the right place, put it in, type in the number, move on to the next one. You can like parse through that list really fast, right? Even manual labor wise, right? So yeah, like whenever someone's like, oh man, you do all this work, like I don't feel ever that like this is so onerous that I deserve recognition for it, right?
No, I feel the same way about everything is sort of like done locally. I'm like, well, I wish I could be better. Like, I wish I could do more. You know, like I don't feel like I'm doing a very good job, but everyone's like, oh my God, things are actually happening. Events are being run. Prizes show up. It's like, okay.
Yeah. And actually, if anything, I feel more, I've done more with the templates for the cards than I have for Yasby. Like, I feel more like that's a bigger time investment for me.
Here's the deep cut for you guys. This was
the Boba Fett.
A mistake we did for the Prototype Toronto League Open. Am I gonna get it right?
Yeah, there's a Initiative 6. That's a problem.
The Boba Fett that everyone wished it was.
Yeah.
Nope. I'm out. Up.
Yeah, we forgot. We Steven looked at it. I looked at it. And we were like, great, good to go. Nothing wrong with that.
Whoops.
Say, before you guys go, especially Devin and Steven, I'm very actively trying to get Alex, Frank, or Max on the show. And they're putting up some serious walls, but I'm going to break through them. Like literally I'm going to Minneapolis soon, I think. So if I had to literally drive there and walk through headquarters, I'm gonna go fucking where the fuck is these people?
Well, Alex can't hold his liquor, so
that's fine. So, what questions would you want answered? I mean, don't go crazy, but just like generally, I'm trying to collect because nobody else is doing it.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely bonkers. I know 2 podcasters that have their personal emails and they're not on the show. So it leads me to believe that either A, they're not allowed to be on, or either that or they're not trying to. But
they're probably not allowed to be on, if I'm perfectly honest.
They've been allowed on in the past, so I'm gonna put my stubbornness towards it, and I'm gonna get them on the show.
Oh, you can do that. I'm just gonna say, like, A, I don't know how involved they are anymore, to be honest, right? And 2,
well, maybe not them, but I want
they
developers.
haven't really been on podcasts since Asmodee took over, so you don't know if there's like a new policy in town.
I'm talking.
That's true. They did a bunch of stuff. They did a bunch of stuff.
Oh, for 2.0, you're right. You're right.
In fact, I think that they've been more on stuff as a result.
You know who would be more interesting to talk to be honest, is probably Alex Watkins.
The new OP guy?
Yeah. That's what I was going to suggest as well. Mm-hmm. That guy would be amazing to put on a podcast.
Not only is
Watkins?
Yeah. Not only is he extremely interesting, he's also extremely competent at his job. And so I'm very excited. Like, he makes me very hopeful for the future of OP. And especially since, like, the first major thing he did was, like, fix the fucking Wave championships, which are as confusing as all get out. And none of the stores are doing.
Hyperspace naming convention and all that.
Yeah. All right. God. If you had a question for Alex Watkins, what would you ask?
I don't know. Like, that's...
Here's the thing. Here's the problem with the questions. I'll give Devin time to
They're
think.
going to get... So they're going to go through PR.
So for my...
I've already gone through this.
Well, that's one thing. But, like, the questions that I would want to know, like, I can't ask that in a public forum. Like, they're, like, you know... like, how do you make the sausage kind of questions that, like, for me, like Yasby, like, I would want to know, like what was the things that would have led to, you know, the making of the app that, like, only as a dev and as someone who, like, actually produces, like, I know they can't talk about, right? That's internal stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just would never be like, if I was having a conversation with him, you know, privately, I'm sure he would be able to tell me some of this stuff, right?
Right.
But, like, in a public setting, on the record, like...
Oh, it'll never happen.
There's no way, right?
No. I mean, like, I want them to explain, like, their thoughts around, like, the bomb space, why they even included Trajectory Simulator in 2.0. Like, they seem to be... Like, I had a talk with Max Brooks at Coruscant, and it fucking terrified me about the future of the game, right? Because this, like, he just did not care, right? And so, like, I don't know.
Well, because it was 1.0.
No, it was 2.0. Like he was going on about some stuff, and I was just like, holy shit, right? Like, these guys are torn back and forth between, like, 3 different projects, and like I can ask them about. Like, I don't know if they're going to remember, like, even the decision to put Trajectory Simulator in 2.0, a card that's just widely hated, right? Like, are they paying attention? Can they pay attention? Like, certainly those are things that are difficult to do. But, you know, if I could ask anything, it would be about putting Trajectory Simulator in the game. If I was going to ask Alex Watkins anything, it would be about...
Well, Alex Watkins not going to be able to tell you anything. He's OP.
No, but then you ask about OP things, right? Like, how are you expanding the game? What are you going to do? Right?
Yeah,
like,
I get that.
But I want to know what the result of the Wave kits being a disaster internally was. Right? But I'm never going to know that.
Right? Well,
yeah, he's not going to answer that. I can tell you that right now. Like, I wrote it down and I went, nope.
Like, there are OP questions that are, like, I'd love to know that are, like, more like just functional questions. Like,
give it to me.
Like, you know, for rulings, right? Like, who does that belong to? How does that work? Like, why is it that like it takes so long to get a ruling made when like clearly like it actually doesn't take that long, but it's so important to how OP works.
Why isn't there a judge training program? Why don't we have floor rules yet? Why isn't there an OP? Like there is an OP team. Like I've met Jimmy. Like Jimmy's a 22-year-old who's like got a job. If
we want to make it more PR friendly, like what is their plan? Or are they looking at other systems that are in place for tournament structures, like what Magic does? Like, and are they trying to emulate those systems? Or
right. I tell you what. Here's what I want you guys to do. I want you to message me on Facebook.
Okay.
And no, I want you to think about this hard. Don't think about what PR is going to say. Don't think about what these guys are going to say. Message me on Facebook. What questions do you want to ask? Because I'm literally going to go to FFG. Like, this is not. I'm close enough. I'm probably the closest podcaster other than TCX to go there and go.
That's FFG propaganda.
Shh. I'm going to go there. I'm going to go, hey, one, I'm a retailer. I sell your shit. That's probably the biggest power play I have. I say, I promote your product. I sell your stuff. I want in.
Right.
I just want to ask a few questions to a couple of people. That's all I want to do. Now, I've had Wade on the show before, and I've had to like issue my questions to PR.
Sure.
And they definitely highlighted like, nope, can't ask that, can't ask that, can't ask that. I'm like, okay, that's fine. A lot of the questions, I threw a lot of softballs and I threw a lot of hardballs. I was like, there's no way they're going to let me answer that.
That's just the thing, right? Having these on is lose-lose, right? Because you're not going to be able to ask the questions that the players want you to ask. And
like questions like
a semi-hard question, you're not going to get anything close to a real answer. So everyone just walks away just like super dissatisfied.
Well,
I don't agree with that 100%.
No, right now I can ask them. I says, are we going back to Store Championships or hyperspace and this and that? And they'll be able to go.
Devs, that's OP, right? Like,
well, that's an OP question.
Yeah.
I could go in the development phase. I says, are you guys paying attention to what is happening in all of your deals? If they say yes, then we automatically know that they know triple ups is a problem. They know that this is a problem. They know that this is a problem.
Yeah.
It's an official answer, yet an unofficial answer kind of thing. Right?
If I could just so now I'm going to turn on my CEO brain for a couple of minutes and just kind of talk about like business opportunity, right? Like if they wanted to, I think that you having someone on from FFG is a good idea. Like I think they should be engaging their community even more, right? The right way to do that from their perspective and probably from yours as well is to talk about is to use that opportunity to build trust in their process, right?
Yes.
For you, that gives you great content because you can actually kind of look at how it's being made, how the sausage, how everything's being made, understanding more where that's going. For them, it provides an opportunity to give us the community a greater understanding of what is going on, so that we can believe them when they say, yeah, we're aware of the problem and we're working on it. Right.
It only solidifies their best interests.
Correct. Correct.
They know I can't ask the hard questions.
Sure. And even if you did, they would just sidestep it.
Even if they did, they sidestep it. And for me, I wouldn't ask that question. If
you're not a journalist either.
I'm a journalist. I can't ask. I don't want to ruin my source. That's what I'm going for here.
Yeah.
And if I could get with them every 3 months or every 6 months after a point drop, because I did what I was told to do, as a journalist, I'm going to dig a little bit. I'm gonna pose some questions that they're like, no, they can ask that, but I'm gonna do the follow up
Mm-hmm.
And I did it with Wade, and he's like, I did it with Wade a couple of times where he's like, I can't answer that. I just can't. He shut me down.
Now FFG has its own podcast that it just started, right? Or no one watches this?
What?
FFG has their own live their live Twitch. I don't think they have their own podcast.
Yeah.
Well, I know they stream events, but they stream like when they don't have events.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
I don't know if they just started it.
They're doing a terrible job of promoting it, if that's true.
Oh, it's so bad.
Yeah, so it's called FFG Live.
Yeah.
And they're doing it.
They just did Destiny today.
Yeah, so they've done Keyforge, L5R, and Destiny. And RPG stuff. Yeah.
And apparently from my sources, there was a lot of inside information given away on Destiny today.
I can't find this podcast.
It's not a podcast.
I'm really sending you a link now.
It's not a podcast. It's a live Twitch. It's not a podcast.
So it's just like the FFG Twitch.
It's FFG Live YouTube/Twitch.
Yeah.
It's their video crew videoing people in the store playing. That's all it is.
Their video people came over to Dion and I during Coruscant, like the one guy they have producing things. And he was just like, can you guys tell me how to do this? And like Dion, here's the thing, Dion's a wonderful guy, but he doesn't know how anything works. And I was like, I gave them VTTV Live's email because like Dion has like a tech guy who builds everything for him, right? He doesn't.
No, Dion has everything set up for him.
He doesn't know, like someone teaches him how to use it.
He does. I mean, he's done it for long enough that he knows, but he doesn't. He knows what plugs go in where. He doesn't know what the plugs that. You know what? I don't want to talk about.
That's fine. That's.
I don't want to speak for Dion, but
that's literally not his job, right?
He has everyone literally under his payroll. I am under his payroll. Fuck. I mean, Jesus.
And all the power to him. Like I know Mark Stewart's gonna give me shit. He's still in the chat, I think.
Mark he's good shit.
You know, but certainly, you know, if any of us could make a living the way Dion has playing X-Wing, we'd kill for that opportunity. Like I can't fault anything. Like I can take issue with, you know, his business model, right? But I can't.
He also puts in the time. He puts in the time. That's the biggest thing. He flies everywhere.
If any of us, exactly. I mean, like he's providing a huge service to the community, and if any of us could get paid to fly to Phoenix to record and talk about X-Wing for fucking 12 hours, we would, right? Like,
would you really want to? I mean,
yeah, why not?
I know I've seen that life.
I live a pretty easy life. I don't care.
Oh, okay. Then yes, do it.
Like
competition breeds lower prices, buddy.
Yeah, but then everyone loses. I think having 3 people who do that is unsustainable, right?
I can tell you right now. If you were to talk to Dion, he'd cut you in.
Look, like if you look at like the First Earth guys in Europe.
Oh my God, the pioneers.
Like I love First Earth. Like their production is great, right? Like like the fact that he has the standings between rounds, the fact that he's got his multiple cameras set up, right? But the commentary is always trash because Simon's a great guy, but doesn't know a lot about X-Wing, right? And that's like at VTTV Live, like Victor and Travis are great with setting
doing the production end,
but they're like, we don't play X-Wing anymore.
Bob Costas doesn't get paid fucking millions of dollars for being a technical guy.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, so this is a funny segue. Devin, do you remember the conversation that we had about when you first started casting?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Was it how much does it cost to get coach on?
No.
What's important, right? Like what's important talking in a game, right? Like you have to build a narrative from the beginning to the end. You need to talk about what's important.
Yeah.
You need to talk about decision making during important points, right? Like if a player's taking 30 seconds to set his dial, you don't just sit there and talk to chat. You have to explain to people who are unfamiliar with the game or who aren't playing at that level why the player is taking so long to set his dial. Like, what is he thinking about? And like theory craft it out with your other commentator and be like, okay, like what's going through Tim's head right now? He's taking a long time to set that dial. What are his options? What's he considering? Where is he going to go? Where is he going to be 2 or 3 turns from now?
Yeah.
Right.
This is what I was like. So like I was, because when Devin was like starting to do the casting and like he wanted to get feedback, and I was like, okay, I've got all of the here's everything you need to do, right? And so I like basically wrote a like document about like this is all the things that like the casting is lacking in X-Wing right now, right? And he's taken that to like really good heights. Like he's actually really like they've like VTTV is like they're consistently saying like they have some of the best casters on, but it's because like Devin's created like this really good like system for like and kind of like the training for people to like get in and like understand what they're supposed to be doing, right? Because their job is not like it's just like Devin said, like the job is not to just talk and fill dead space, right? You're taking like the best casters are the ones that take their viewers on a journey, and like at the end of the journey is when the game finishes. Right? It's not a new thing. This is what sports has done for 50 years, right? 50, 60 years, right? Like, the big example, because like I was thinking about this for other things, but like, for example, football became the most popular sport in America when television came out and when people can start doing play-by-plays and actually start explaining what was happening in the game, what was happening.
Right.
Then you get buy-in from the community, right? And then you can. And football's a deeply complex game when you get into it, right? All the strategy involved and all the plays, and like at the outset, it's just guys hitting the crap out of each other, and a ball gets thrown around, like or pigskin gets thrown around, right? But like there's so much in there that you can't unpack it all just from looking at it. You have to have someone explain that out to you. X-Wing's the same way. Like from its top perspective, it's just a bunch of plastic tiny spaceships that people are like pushing around. Right. But there's a deeply complex game in there that like if you can tap that, it can be very interesting. Right.
And certainly that's something I tried to do at Coruscant was like Dion would say something obtuse or he'd dive like whenever someone was like trolling him in the chat, it would like really rile him up and he'd stare at the chat. And so I constantly it's like he'd make some reference and I'd be like, oh, what does that mean? Or try to get him to explain something, or I'd start explaining it. Just to try and engage, right? Like you have to have a back and forth. Like it's super important to like explain those things because people don't know how to play X-Wing, right? Like, I mean, the crates talk about it a little bit where it's like people are bad. And it's like, I don't know if everybody's bad, but certainly, people get experience with certain kinds of lists. Right.
Or even if you don't even if you ignore the skill aspect of the player, let's like not even talk about if they're good or bad, but just as like if the guys are talking, like I want to be engaged in a conversation with them, at least mentally, right? If they have an opinion, right, I can either agree or disagree with that opinion, but at least, they're bringing something to the table. Now I can actually like think about it. It's like, are they right? Are they not right? I think they're wrong. But if they keep talking, it's like, well, change my mind, right? Like at least that's something that you're mentally checking in, right? Like if the commentary is completely like useless and like it's basically I could have muted the thing and I would have had the same experience, then what are you even doing in the commentary to begin with, right? What was the value add, right? So
Topsky.
What
do you got? You've been on more recorded shows than probably anyone here.
Recorded
as your games are recorded and commentated on.
I mean, they're commentated on. I'm just a player, so I don't know if I mean, most of them were on Gold Squadron. Only one of them was on FFG with Simeon. I mean, I've offered Dion a couple times just to try commentating, just to see how it go. Because there's a couple times where I'd watch and I'd be, thinking in my head like, oh, this is what I'd expect them to do. And the the ability for Dion, which I think is helping him push him towards a good direction, is doing the being able to draw on the screen like this direction, think about this direction, like that. I was expecting that to happen at some point in the future, and I'm glad he's got that to do now, because now you can just say, when you say this ship, and they're talking, and the right turn, left turn, you kind of see how things crisscross over each other and how the game state could be based upon their predictions.
We just added that. Travis just added that to VTTV Live as well. I think in January we got that functionality. It's great, and I believe they both use the same open source program.
Probably.
Yeah. Not exactly a secret.
I mean, you guys are in Toronto, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
What time is it there?
Yeah, it's 1:20.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, aren't you guys tired?
Sure.
Not really.
Coach, it's also 1:20 for me as well.
I gotta get up and make my wife breakfast tomorrow when she heads to work. Then we got some guys coming in to fix the ceiling at 8. And then I don't know. I just don't have anything to do for the rest of the day. So I'm
all right. I tell you what. What we're gonna do right now is we're gonna cancel the cast. So everybody watching, love you. See you tomorrow or whenever.